All right, all right. Whole Squad Sports special midday edition, second midday show of the week, first time ever because we are hitting the road for Miami of Ohio, ready to see them take on Toledo. They're traveling to Oxford, Ohio, as well as we are going to be in the booth scouting some guys. I know some guys on Toledo have already been invited to the Shrine Bowl, so you might see some guys in the Senior Bowl, Shrine Bowl. Nonetheless, we're going to see some ballers and some NFL prospects, but we got our week breakdown and preview full ahead like normal. Hope everyone's been having a great week. First off, Dalton, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm ready for this game tonight. I think it's gonna be a good one. It's like you said, Toledo. It too got Senior Bowl last year, I think.
Yes,
Darius Alexander
dog.
and Maxon Hook.
Yes, Alexander was one of my favorites, especially in the trenches.
Yeah, good. He's a giant. I'm glad we got him, and he's pretty good as a rookie. But man, I hope Miami can pull it off. They've lost so many close games this year.
Yeah, a bunch of them, good classic action going on, which we'll be in store for as well. I mean, you can never hate on some weekday football. And coming down to our last stretch, I mean, we got probably maybe a couple more college games the rest of the season. It's already week 12, which is insane. We say it every week, but I mean, it's crazy. It's went by way faster than last year, in my opinion. But maybe I'm crazy, and maybe this extended playoff that we're heading to, I don't know if that'll help it, or maybe it makes the last couple weeks kind of like the NFL, to where are we going to have backup starting, the last couple weeks, all that good stuff. But I can't wait. G5 playoff bracket is in the works. That's going to be on our next episode. But let's get into it. We got Will Thomas joining the show, who's going to be joining us every single Wednesday on our evening show for some preview talk and some picks, some upset talk. He's the man if you're an SEC guy, because he covers pretty much specifically SEC, and he'll get you covered. And couldn't be more happy to have him on, and he'll be in here shortly. Okay, so first off, let's go ahead and get into first topic, and we'll bring in Will here. Is there anything like you're looking forward to right now, like going into this week? I know we got some big games. I know obviously another coaching cycle we're in, more coaches here and there. I mean, is there anything that you're looking forward to? Any sleeper playoff team? Is there anything you want to get off your chest as we head in here into week 12?
I mean, I'm really interested in the ACC right now, man. I mean, It doesn't matter who makes it, does it? It doesn't really matter.
No.
They're not going to win a game, probably. If they do, they're not going to win two.
Yes, I would say definitely not win two.
No ACC team's going to win two playoff games. So it doesn't really matter. But yeah, I'm so interested in it. Who's going to make it?
Yeah.
I mean, can Heintzel beat Notre Dame? Man, I hope so. I love that kid.
Well, Narduzzi's ruined it for him, I think. His chances. If you see Narduzzi come out in his press conference, he's like, we can get beat by 100. It doesn't matter. I've never in my life seen a coach say that ever, either behind closed doors or out in public.
Weird
I mean,
take.
Yeah, it's weird because I think I swear, I bet Vegas is so pissed because I think if he wouldn't have said that, half the nation probably would have took Pitt money line, and we'll see.
It is a good point, though. I mean, the NCAA did this, though. It's not Pitt's fault.
I agree.
It's not a must win. It's not their fault.
Yeah, I think everyone wants to see Notre Dame in a conference. I think. But I can see both ways. Devil advocate. I want to see them in a conference too. You have to play it has implications. You can't just schedule anybody and everybody. And then the reason why they don't do it, mostly because of media.
I mean,
and their media rights, and they keep all that media money. They don't have to split it with anybody else in no conference.
The only defense they have is their schedule is probably harder than a lot of the top 10 teams this year.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but I do think with conference play, it's more about reoccurring opponents, guys who you just always have a problem with. UK and Florida is a perfect one. I mean, look at their program. I mean, there should really no reason. If they were out of conference, Florida probably wouldn't struggle with UK. But they're in conference, and it just builds up all this hype, and they're coming this year. They're coming in 2 years. There's a history. I think that plays into it, but
I think some coaches also just have teams' numbers. It's not about the team; it's the coach. Stoops he just knows how to coach against Florida, and he also knows he almost beat Ole Miss this year.
Yeah,
and he beat Ole Miss last year.
That's a good point.
So Stoops knows how to coach against Ole Miss and Florida. He's really good against them two teams for whatever reason.
Yeah,
whether it be scheme or just the players he has. Either way, he's really good against Florida and Ole Miss, two teams that are way better than Kentucky every year. But
for sure,
he gives them fits every year. So it's just you're right. The conference thing, common opponents. Sometimes teams that are way worse than you just play you really good because they're common. They know you. But also, like I said, Notre Dame's defense, man. They can never get a top 4 seed, so they can never have a bye. That's even if they go 12-0, win every game by 50, they still get the 5 seed. So that's
yeah, that's true.
They're they're kind of hurting themselves a little bit too.
I
Because
agree.
last year they would have got a bye.
Yeah, like you said, it hurts. It hurts them with the bye there. You want to be able to at least get a bye. I am not the most of like, all right, you absolutely need one
No,
because
no.
I believe that a bye is going to help you work out some kinks. And I'd rather coming off a week of playing ball, maybe we didn't play as good as we want to, yeah, but at least we had a game and we have some film to work on, some stuff that's fresh in our mind. But maybe but I get it. If you a week off of recovery, you can't beat that. So I get it. It's always a double
I
edged
mean, it's
sword.
just the injury risk of it all. I mean,
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why we've seen
CJ,
the trend. I think of guys not playing in the bowl game because look at Jake Butt, guys like that
yeah.
who really hurt their future. But I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of good things to shake out here. Let's go ahead and bring in Will here shortly, and we'll get some picks and we'll look into this fine Wednesday afternoon. Hope everyone's having a good, solid day, getting a solid lunch break in, or if you're on the West Coast, getting a nice start to your day. And it's going to be a wild week, just like it's been all season. But without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Mr. Will Thomas.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, Will, what's up, buddy? You're on
Mute.
mute, I believe. We good here? What about now?
There we go. I kept hitting it. Okay, there we go. Perfect.
You're-
Good start. Good start. How we doing?
How you doing, buddy?
Perfect start.
Doing good, man. Excited for this weekend.
Yeah, I can't wait, man. It's going to be a heck of a week. I'm really excited to have you on here, man. I always look at your content if it pops up on my feed. And, I like how Will puts in the effort here. He does the stuff with the visual, just like with us. Kind of reminds me of us when we started here just last year. And everyone's going to know Will. I mean, got a bright future. That's why we wanted to have him on. And you're filling in through the Draft Professor. And, it's how we met through pretty much almost everyone that's came on our show besides players has pretty much been through the Draft Professor guys we've met. So really can't thank Jim enough. And it's been pretty awesome of all the connections we've been able to meet. But Will, before we get into it, man, is there anything that you're looking forward to? Any opinions you want to get off going into Week 12 already?
I mean, I guess the biggest one, like I think A&M right now, this is the best team in the country. This is who I think's got the national title. That they're my pick right now.
Okay.
I mean, all the respect in the world to Ohio State and Indiana. I think they're two really damn good teams. But for me right now, I think A&M's their resume is the most impressive, and I'm looking at that really just from an SEC schedule because like their worst conference win, you could say it's Arkansas, right? And they're 2-7. So people want to brush that off. Arkansas, I think I looked at it. They'd be like the 7th best team talent wise in the Big Ten. Like it just feels to me like A&M, they're just playing a different caliber of opponent. And Buckeyes and Hoosiers, damn good teams. But right now, I think A&M should be number one in those playoff rankings, and they're my title pick right now.
Wow.
That's
okay.
fair, but
Go ahead.
I'm an SEC guy too, man. But I'm looking at their schedule and what's their best SEC win? I mean, Missouri with the backup quarterback, third string quarterback. Maybe LSU, Florida.
I still want to give them credit for at LSU because I think A&M broke LSU. I don't think LSU was necessarily broken before that A&M game. They weren't great, but I don't think they were broken until A&M did what they did.
Fair.
I got you. Yeah, and I agree. I'm in the middle here because I like A&M.
I do too, but I'm looking at the schedule and I mean, there's really not no meat on there, man. Notre Dame's the only good win, and how'd they win that game? It was fluky. Tyler Buckner dropped the snap. Should have went to overtime.
Yeah.
I love this A&M team, but the best team they played, it was a toss-up game. That should have went to overtime. This ain't the hardest SEC schedule. I mean, 3 of the teams they beat already fired their coach. Oh, 4 of them. Auburn, Florida, Arkansas, and LSU. I mean, you got 4 interim coaches. This team's good, but yeah, they didn't play the Bamas or the Georgias of the SEC. They didn't play Vandy this year, which is crazy to say.
I'm in the middle because they have the SEC tag, so they're going to get that love, and that's I think why a lot of people have them. But I love Marcel Reed. I think they have the best offensive line in the nation, and outside of Ohio State, is there really a 1-2 combo wide receiver or two guys that are going to give you some love every single game? You can go to him, Concepcion and Craver. I think those are 2 guys that you look at them, you're like, I know they're going to have at least 1 or 2 big catches every game. But I got to say, yes, I agree with you on the schedule and pretty much that rest of the nation. That's what everyone's saying. But as a guy who picked Ohio State to go back-to-back, Ohio State's pretty much in the same boat.
Same boat.
But we got them as consensus number 1. So I think since they have the same problem as Ohio State and they haven't lost, I think they deserve to be in the same breath as Ohio State as we talk contenders right now. I think they deserve it right now because they have the same problems, schedule, but they're winning. Some wins have been harder than we thought, but this team's better than we thought.
I think if you take the first week of the season away, which you can't,
Right.
It was a game, but Alabama's number one team in the country.
Yeah.
If you look at resume, if you just look at resume, the teams they beat, man. Now they beat some teams. They beat Georgia, Vandy, and they beat Missouri with Pribula too
I
at
agree.
Missouri. So they probably had the best resume. That one loss to Florida State, yeah, bad loss. Florida State ended up being terrible. Lost to Stanford, but man, if they play again, I don't think there's anybody in the country who's taking Florida State.
No, yeah, I agree. And what's their Achilles heel? Do you think A&M has an Achilles heel right now? Do you think what can beat them? Is it
Right?
it just straight up being pretty much just being shorthanded? I know they give up really big runs.
Yeah,
but what do you think?
Run defense.
I mean, when I've been looking at A&M this year, like they don't have a glaring weakness or necessarily like a glaring strength. Like they're not top 5 in anything. They're just kind of good everywhere, which to me sort of feels like the winning formula. Like because with how spread out all the talent is with NIL portal everything, like most of these teams, they'll be great in just hypothetical, awesome secondary, but you got a hole in the D line. A&M doesn't have either of those. They're just good everywhere, so they're always consistent. They don't necessarily have these gaps in their roster where a guy transferred out. And if you want to beat A&M, you kind of have to beat them at their own game. You're going to have to out Mike Elko, and out tough that team. So I just think they're kind of consistently good to great everywhere, and you don't really just see many flaws with A&M aside from really the run game. But even then, I think their personnel is good enough for if you get them on the right day, it'll be hard to get that done.
Yeah, and I think their Achilles heel maybe could be Elko. I mean, I think that is their. I really believe him. He gave a halftime speech. I don't know which game it was last year, but he gave a halftime speech. Man, it gave me goosebumps, ready to run through a wall, which has been more rare and rare these days with college football. I mean, we have a lot of good X's and O's guys, some good analytical guys, but as a time where kids do need motivation and they do need that pat on the back and they need a rah 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 guy, a little bit more of Ed O is going to be needed in college football to succeed, as opposed to being a straight tactician, in my opinion. Just because I think because you have to recruit your own guys. I mean, we have to keep their own guys here on the team. We have to worry about them transferring. So I do think more and more we're going to see, especially with big staffs. I mean, we got director of football operations, we got run game and pass game coordinators. I think there's going to be plenty of spots where the rah coach is going to be more successful than the really good schematic coach. Because I mean, that's where Sarkisian I think fails, of getting his guys really pumped up and just being like showing emotion and really because the players feed off that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's his big issue. But all right, so let's go ahead and get this to the next topic here. Will, I want to get your thoughts. So last week, we did have Diego Pavia as our player of the week, our MVP for week 11. Huge game, 377 yards, 3 touchdowns through the air, and then 112 yards and another touchdown through the ground, something I'm not used to seeing Diego Pavia do.
I mean, 500 total yards almost.
Yeah, what'd you think of Diego Pavi's performance? One, and the reason we brought it up, want to give maybe a prediction on an MVP who you see might show out in week 12.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I was at this game. I got to
go.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The energy shift from the first half to the second half was unbelievable, and you saw it on the field. I mean, what Diego was doing, what he really has been doing, it's been incredibly impressive, especially those last 2 weeks with 377 through the air against Auburn and 365 on Texas. And I've never really. Okay, I guess I understand why people don't like him because he's a bit older, he's like a 6-year guy, and has the audacity to be confident. But now he's really going out there. He's like, once that noise got louder, so did his performance, and that's just kind of the competitor that he is. So it's been really, really fun to watch Diego go. And I mean, that Auburn defense is really good, and that Auburn team came out with a spark. I wasn't sure if they were going to roll over and die or come out with a spark with Hugh Freeze gone. That team was playing good. That team was fighting. So for Vandy as a whole to have that gut check win, to come back and beat a team down by 10 at half, who's better than Vandy. Like Auburn is a way more talented team, despite what the ranking and record says. So that was a massive gut check win for Vandy to me. And it kind of solidified them for me as a playoff contender because, look, I mean, they have not been the better team on the field for most of their games. They just dig deep and get it done. So I don't even know how much I care who they play or where they play them because I think they can compete with just about anybody. And that game really showed it for me.
I agree. I'm starting to turn the corner on them a little bit. I did pick them. By the time I picked them, they end up losing, dropping a game, so that happens. But they came back, and I thought Auburn was going to get that jolt, making the coaching change. We've seen many teams do already this year. I mean, look at UAB. As soon as they fired Dilfer, they got a dub. A few other teams that have, as soon as they fired their coach, they got a win.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to see that more and more.
Even if they don't win, they play a lot better.
They play a lot better.
I mean, like Florida against Georgia.
Exactly.
We almost won. We shouldn't have. Who else was it? Man, there's another big one.
Yeah,
Penn State.
Huh?
Penn State against Indiana.
Yes, Penn State.
There's all kinds of them.
UCLA.
Yeah,
I mean, UCLA. As soon as they made their coaching
weeks,
change, they had the
now
hottest,
they're back, but
the hottest 3 weeks pretty much in football. Probably one of the best stories in football. Those I don't know that we didn't expect coming, but. Yeah, Diego Pavia. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy. Just with the eligibility thing is with me. I like a cocky guy. I mean, I like a flashy guy, especially when you can back it up with your play. But when you need a federal judge to be the reason why you can play, that's a little. I mean, that's gonna cut it. It's gonna cut it a little bit close for me. But in the same breath, I like what he's been doing.
If Vandy beats Kentucky and Tennessee, finishes 10-2, do they make the playoffs?
People are saying it.
It's really.
It depends on the rest of the country, but
I think it depends on Notre Dame mostly. If they go lose to Pitt, then all of a sudden Vandy's door gets wide open. It depends on Oklahoma. If Oklahoma wins this game as Bama, all of a sudden they're a good spot for a playoff bid.
That's really low odds, but it could happen. You're right. And then Texas could beat A&M. Texas has to win out too.
Yeah.
And
I'm a little worried it might be out of Vandy's hands. But
people are saying USC's got a shot.
USC does have a shot. They win this week, and if they win out, but they got to beat Oregon still, which they could beat Oregon. Oregon's not good.
They could. I mean, I love me some Dan Lanning. That's my guy. They do this thing Oregon does. They pretty much do a preview every week.
Oregon has no weapons. It's crazy.
They what?
I've never thought I'd say about an Oregon team. No weapons.
I know.
2 weapons, and
I think it's pure. I think it's purely Dante Moore.
Yeah,
Dante Moore and coaching, bro. Like Dan Lanning's been coaching his ass off this year.
Yeah.
I think that he's the dog. He's trying to put that dog in him, which you can't do, but he's doing the best job as he can. But I love how they do a weekly recap of the whole week. They'll do a practice recap and then a game recap, like kind of like a little short film they do every week. It's on YouTube, and that's pretty much it got me to love Oregon. As soon as I watch one of those videos, if I got DraftKings pulled up, I might hammer Oregon. Just as soon as I watch those videos, because Dan Lanning is one of those guys that gets me pumped up. But yeah, Week 11 Player of the Week MVP did go to Pavia. Is there anybody that you see maybe showing out who could possibly get the MVP this week?
This might be a bit of a stretch, but I talked about Oklahoma beating Bama. Xavier Robinson, their running back, he's been the guy who's sort of introduced any sort of running game to him. And Bama against the run hasn't been great. So I think that maybe if things go right for Oklahoma, if they're going to win this game, I think Robinson's got to run for like $130 and score twice. So I wouldn't be overly shocked if we see a great stat line from Xavier Robinson, and we're talking about him like this next week.
Yeah, I love it. I love when a good running back shows out and puts his name on the map. That's one of my favorites, man, just because it's mostly, I mean, Heisman, we've seen it pretty much turn to a quarterback award. We get it. I mean, we mostly give our awards to our quarterbacks, which, it's just the name of the game. But anytime we could throw away running back, I mean, we love to do it. When we highlighted Antoine Raymond last week, he didn't get player of the week, but he had a hell of a game.
240, 40 carries or something, man. He was a workhorse, dude. Antoine Raymond's a beast. I love him. Rutgers always got good backs now. Shiano knows how to find backs, man.
Yeah, dude.
Low-key underrated recruits.
I never thought I would say I hope Rutgers keeps their talent this year, and I really do. I think they have a lot of guys who I hope they keep. They have some sophomores that are out there really good.
Strong and Duff, man.
Yeah, and I hope they keep – and they have a really good defensive lineman. He's freaking good. I don't know his name. I have to look up my scouting report from that Draft Professor show. But, yeah, man, I hope they can keep it together. But let's get into top 6 here, Will. We're going to go over some Heisman odds as well after. We'll get our upsets alerts and see there's going to be some possibly big upsets, as there always is. And let's get into it. So Week 12, we did have a late switch. We did add TCU, and we did add BYU at the end of the game because I was thinking maybe that was it the what game did I have in here? I think it was Florida.
Louisville, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Well, Florida. No, I thought Florida could really be a home wrecker this week with Ole Miss.
God, if you do that to Kiffin twice, no way he's coming to Florida.
I'm going to let the two Florida Gators fans talk about it. What are the chances Florida, before we get into the top 6, what's the chances Florida gets this upset here this week?
Honestly, I don't think there's a high chance at all this year, man. I mean, after the Kentucky game, our offense looked lost. Neither quarterback knows what they're doing back there. Tramel or Lagway. Everybody's just selling out to stop ball. One of the best running backs in the country, I think, talent-wise. But, you got to have blocking. And our defense didn't show up last week either. A lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball. I think Ole Miss takes advantage of that. Chambliss, I think, just runs all over us. Q1 Lacey. And I think 15.5-point spread. I think they win by about 14. What do you think, Will? I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but
I hope you are too, but I agree with you. And I'm going to this game with my family because over
Yeah.
the summer we had thought first trip to the Grove was going to be fun. I almost want to hide, but I'm going to go there. I'm still ripping my Florida stuff. I think the Gators quit last week, and that kind of effort. It doesn't make me feel like we're going to get up off the mat and go play a good game in Oxford against a team that really wants to beat the hell out of us. So it's a way bigger game for Ole Miss than it is for Florida, even though Florida's 3-6. I think Ole Miss probably takes care of it.
if we, like I said, though, if we ruined our season twice in a row, that would be awesome, man. That would be great. We kept out the playoffs last year, and there was a better Ole Miss team.
Yeah.
And our team wasn't much worse talent-wise, or about the same talent-wise as last year. So, I mean, if we played our best game, we could win for sure, but I don't see that happen after last week, man.
Okay, we'll see if the Gators can prove the Gator diehards wrong. Let's see if we can get Will an upset in person. Those are always the best, and we'll see how it shakes out.
I was at the game this weekend, Will, so that was fun.
Oh, were you? Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kentucky fans had a lot of fun.
Dude, Stoops has just got Florida's number. Dog.
He does.
I mean, he just does.
Even when we're good.
He knows how to beat that team, and I don't know if he ever really beats them the same way, though. I feel like it's always a different way how he beats them. It's not like he's got a rhyme or reason. He does it the same way. I don't know how he does it.
Our offense can never freaking score on him, even when we're good offense. I don't know. Their defense sucks, and we can't score still.
But does Stoops save his job of beating a bunch of teams that fired their coach? What do you think?
He did save his job. Probably.
You think so, Will?
I mean, I thought he was going to get fired preseason. I thought he was going to get fired 2 weeks ago. Maybe he did. I think maybe
so.
He's probably got to find a way to beat Louisville, though. I think at some point they'll probably be like, okay, you beat a bunch of fired coaches. It was fun while it lasted. I think if he finds a way to beat Louisville, he's got it. I would probably expect he's gone still, even though he's kind of rattled off a few wins.
Well, it's an early prediction. I think they beat Louisville.
I don't think
Louisville's they're overrated, bro. Louisville's so over. Louisville's might be the most overrated team in the nation.
Do you know who is that a home game for Louisville?
I don't know where it was last year.
I think it's at Kentucky.
It's
at Louisville.
Okay, well that don't help. That doesn't mean anything, though.
No,
lost at home to Cal.
No, Louisville is as we live in Louisville. Obviously, I mean there's no home field advantage there. JKS just walked in there and got a dub as a true freshman.
Right.
I mean, there's no home field advantage there, in my opinion. Virginia should have won there. I don't know how Virginia. Virginia
beat them.
Yeah, Virginia, but they were underdog. That's why it kills
Virginia
me.
and Cal both beat them.
Yeah, they were ranked 24th,
At
first week of being ranked, and they were the underdog at Louisville. And I'm like, I don't think Vegas is ever going to make that mistake again, but we'll see.
I called the Virginia game. I almost went to Cal last week. Louisville's they're overrated.
They are. They need a quarterback. You know, when you go and get a second-string quarterback in the portal,
Louisville might lose 3 more games this year. They could easily lose Friday night to Clemson.
I think they're going to.
They could lose SMU and Kentucky.
I think they're going to beat Clemson.
I think they lose to Clemson now. Clemson's playing better.
Klubnik's
going to throw for like 350 on them.
We'll see. I think Klubnik's kind of grew on me because I broke down some film for the draft professor.
He's actually been playing great after the start of the year.
Well, if we didn't have you as the GOAT coming in, maybe then
I know.
I get it. If he was an underrated guy, I mean, look at Chambliss.
For sure.
People would be nitpicking Trinidad Chambliss if he was the Heisman favorite coming in.
Absolutely.
I mean, they would be nitpicking Trinidad Chambliss. And I love Trinidad Chambliss. I think I hope they make a run, but we'll see how it happens. I know one of these teams on the screen are going to make the run here and have a big game in Week 12.
One question before we get into that. Have we ever seen a quarterback fall off as much in one season as Garrett Nussmeier? Ever in history? He was projected number 1 pick overall in some drafts. And now he's undrafted UDFA guy?
Yeah, I mean, I never loved him. I didn't think it would be this bad this year. But, he was banged up a little bit in the beginning of the season, I guess. But he just doesn't look there at all. And I think he totally checked out in that Bama game. This has been a pretty big-time collapse.
I mean, any position, I guess you could say. Not even just quarterback. I don't think anybody's stock has fell in one season as much as Nussmeier.
Vontaze Burfict, probably. But
okay, without off-field issues.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah.
Say that.
I agree. But
I mean,
yeah,
even Larry Tunsil with the weed mask smoking only
that
felt
was
like 10
crazy.
spots.
I mean, we were kids when it happened. I remember literally getting ready for the draft, and that pretty much broke. I mean, this is when Twitter was like on the come up,
No.
Mm-hmm.
and I never felt so bad for a dude. I'm
He
like,
still only felt like 10 spots, though. That's what I'm saying.
I
So.
know. I never felt so bad for
That's
a
how good
dude,
he
though,
was.
man. Especially, and that's when, I mean, Josh Gordon, everybody's getting kicked out of the league for weed. So, total different time change since then. But, yeah, I agree. Nussmeier, man, I didn't have him high. I didn't have Klubnik or Nussmeier in my top 5 quarterbacks coming into the season. I had Mendoza ahead of Klubnik. But I think the biggest surprise, I thought Lenore Sellers was going to be.
Yeah, he did. He did.
I
He was
thought
my
it was good.
Heisman. He was my Heisman winner, and I mean,
Yep. Same here.
That sucked.
I think it's more of a Beamer thing, man. I got to give him the benefit of the doubt with that offensive line, which I looked at their transfer portal list coming into this year. I'm like, you got a guy from Western Kentucky. That's great. But this is SEC ball, and their offensive line was already bad last year. And you already bad last year. You're bringing in guys from G5s. That's just what was head scratching. So yeah, I agree. But I do think Beamer's the problem there, man. And the scheme, I like Nick Harbor still. I'll die on the hill for Nick Harbor.
Oh, I'm off him now.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Nick Harbor.
I'm off him now.
Stay on.
I thought y'all were ball knowers. He can't play ball. He's an athlete.
But I mean, we've seen a lot.
He can't play ball. He can't run routes. He can't catch.
He's in a bad off. Yeah,
He's also in a bad offense.
So his
If you put
hands.
him
That makes
anywhere
his
else.
hands worse though. He can't catch a freaking
can.
dig. I mean, a slant. He can only catch a deep ball. This whole team, I know the O-line sucks too, but man, I've watched a lot of South Carolina games. Sellers misses a lot of open men. That it's not the O-line's fault. He has time, guys open, he just
But
misses
I
them,
think it's in
man.
his head though. If you get hit last play, you're gonna think you're gonna get hit the next play, even if you don't. I mean, you get hit 3-4 plays in a row, and yeah, you might your O-line might pull something out of their ass and block the next play, but you're gonna think in your head. I mean, I've gotten rammed here the past 3 plays, and I'm the $1 million guy. Like,
Yeah.
I understand you got to hit your layups as well as a future NFL quarterback, but we'll see how it plays out there in South Carolina. I think he's going to be in a transfer portal.
Yeah.
I think
You
it's
think he
all
goes
with
to
smoke. Miami.
I mean, probably.
I think no matter. That's a good thing you bring up Miami, because I think no matter what, wherever Miami goes, it will only be a 1-year starter,
Right.
1-year rental at quarterback, because I think they're going to be banking on their talent coming in. Just because I really love their quarterback coming in, Darion Coleman.
Malachi Tony's going to be sophomore.
He's the best freshman in football. That's my favorite. That's the best freshman in
Dallas
football.
Wilson was healthy. That wouldn't be true.
Yeah, you're right. Not even close.
But it really is right now.
Okay.
Dallas Wilson's only game he was healthy. Oh my God. He beat Texas by himself.
Yeah. I like him, man. I think a lot of guys here on our list here today are going to show out. I wonder who's going to get MVP, man. It's hard to predict that. It's hard to do it every week because, I mean, if you think Diego Pavia was going to get 100 yards rushing and 300 yards passing last week, let us know.
Right.
And we'll bring you on the show. But let's get into the first game of the top 6, fellas. First here, we only got one noon slate, so that's good. We got Notre Dame and Pitt. I mean, it's on here. I mean, I think half the nation would be taking this if Narduzzi didn't say a word this week. But let's start off with your thoughts, Will, on this game, and who do you got?
Yeah, I mean, my first note's exactly what you guys said. I absolutely hated what Narduzzi said. I mean, how is that your reaction? I understand it from a conference standpoint, but I mean, you got College Game Day coming in. You have one of, if not the biggest brand coming into your home stadium. Like, let's go win a game, man. Like, I don't really understand that attitude, but X's and O's wise, I wonder if Pitt's able to limit what Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price can do, because they're only allowing 80 rushing yards per game. And they've played kind of a mixed bag of good and bad rush offenses. So I think that number is pretty accurate. And Notre Dame's relying on the ground game for at least 200 yards a game. So if Pitt's able to slow that down, you're able to put pressure on C.J. Carr to win the game with his arm. And I think that Pitt can throw it around. They're throwing for over 300 yards per game, which is good for second in the ACC. Notre Dame would be 10th in the ACC with how many passing yards they're allowing per game. So I do think there's a path for guys like Kenny Johnson and Raphael Williams Jr. to have good days down the field for Pitt. I think the Panthers have a decent shot, and I don't like what Narduzzi said, but I'll still get there. I think Pitt can at least cover this game. I think it should be pretty competitive. I think Pitt's got a good shot.
Love it. Yeah, I do think they got a shot, man. I know the press conference was damning. It really was. Trust me, I'm right there. But the players play the game, not the coach. And I think Mason Heinzel is a guy who, I mean, I'm on the Heinzel wagon here. I'm Heinzel Hive. I'm probably one of the captains here, along with a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people love this kid. Me and Dalton got to see him throw at Elite 11 last year. And, I mean, he was a committed guy. We pretty much go there to highlight uncommitted guys. But Him and Scotty Fox were two guys who ripped it up that camp, and it's no surprise how they're starting for their respective teams already as freshmen, which is crazy to see. I mean, I didn't think we were going to see any future starters there, a year from that day. I mean, be crazy.
Nah.
Crazy. But what do you think, Dalton, on Pitt and Notre Dame? Does Pitt have a shot, or do the Irish and J Love just run all over them?
I mean, since Height Sales took over, man, Pitt's 5-0. They haven't scored less than 30 a game in any game.
Yeah.
They're at least they scored 30 against Syracuse.
Hard to do.
2 weeks ago though, against Stanford, man, they didn't play great. They won by 15. Height Sale threw 2 picks against that defense. You can't do that this week. So I'm looking at Height Sale, man, and if he can limit the mistakes. He's obviously had a great freshman year, but he's got 5 picks, two picks in multiple games. He's got to protect the ball. If he protects the ball, no turnovers, it's going to be a very close game. But I think Notre Dame's ground game gets it done, man. Jeremiah Love right now is just next level running back. That couple plays he had last week, man, were just electric. All year, really. 94-yard touchdown run earlier in the year. He's the most explosive player in the country, I think. Maybe not the best, but the most explosive. I think he gets it done, man. They really lean on him in this game. Jadarian Price is kind of an afterthought because I think Notre Dame needs to win. They're gonna give the love, and that's what they do this game. He gets 20, 30 touches. CJ Carr plays efficiently like he has all year.
Love that guy.
Great freshman matchup. He's a red shirt, but still, 2 freshmen. I think Notre Dame wins because I just don't think Pitt's coaching pulls out all the stops, man.
Yeah.
The way they were acting, I don't think they go into the playbook much. They might try to protect Heinzel, a couple of the starters, try not to get hurt. I mean, just the way they were acting, like this game don't mean anything.
Very pedestrian, very reserved game plan. You think?
Yeah, game plan wise.
Yeah, they're not just going to have their foot on their necks. Yeah, they don't want to. I think they don't want to maybe get exposed for something down the line. I think they still think they're in the ACC, but in that same breath, you play to win every single game. I don't care who you are. You got to line up and try to smack the other dude in the mouth. If they beat you, that's fine. Okay, that's football. But you got to try and smack the dude up, across from you in the mouth, no matter who they play for, no matter if they got a nice, cool little logo like here on the screen, no matter if they got sparkles of gold in their helmet. Okay, last time I checked, Pitt's got some gold in their uniform as well. They can play a little golden as well. They can pull something, out of their rear end. I think it could happen. Anything could happen. It's college football. That's why we love it. But Mason Heinzel, man, shout out to him. I'm really torn on this game. J Love. We know J Love's going to play good. It's J Love, right? I mean, this is pretty much Ashton GT 2.0 as a part of just hype and just we know how good this guy is. But I think CJ Carr's the X factor. CJ Carr's going to have to make big plays. That's why he plays quarterback. If Heinzel wasn't been playing good, we wouldn't be talking about Pitt. Quarterback runs the show. CJ Carr, I don't know what it's going to take from him to succeed in this game. I'm really curious on what your guys' thoughts is on the score and on is this going to be a high-scoring or low-scoring game? I think this is a very close game. I like Pitt all the way up into the end. I think they're going to make some key mistakes. Can I predict what those mistakes are going to be? No, I don't know if it's going to be a pick, a fumble. Could just be a really penalty-riddled drive that they need to score on. But give me Notre Dame in a very close game. I like them a 3 to 4 point game. What do you guys think on maybe spread and your picks? We'll first go off with Will.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tight. Spread's 12.5, so I'll definitely go Pitt there. I wouldn't be so shocked if this game's like 27-24, and maybe the difference is, like you guys said, like Notre Dame's forced 16 picks this year, and we've seen already that kind of happen with Pitt. So maybe we get down to late game, you throw one away where you lose the game. I think it's pretty tight. I'll take Pitt on the spread. Maybe like 27-24, something in that region.
I like that you didn't do the 30s because I don't think these teams reach 30 this game. I don't know why. I just don't think reach 30. I think Notre Dame is going to come out aggressive and they're going to come out playing their ball, but I don't think they're going to be worried about scoring 50 and putting Pitt in their place, so to say. I don't think they're really worried about that. They're kind of giving me like Ohio State vibes. It's like, let's go out there, play our game, and let's just win it. And as long as we got more points than the other team, that's cool. We don't have to score 50. All right. I do love that pick, though. I would take Pitt spread all day on 12.5. Dalton, what do you think on the game and where are you leaning towards on your pick?
Be a lot closer. Be a closer if the coaching staff was dialed in, but I got Notre Dame 34-24. 10-point win. Kyle Lewis, though, he could change this game for Pitt, one of the best linebackers in the country. If he plays his best game and he's able to stop Love or not stop him, slow him down, Pitt's got a way better chance because Kyle Lewis, man, like I said, one of the best linebackers in the country. 2 sacks, 10 tackles for loss, 2 picks already. He does it all. Huge game for him if Pitt wins. But, yeah, I got Notre Dame by 10 right now.
Okay, so you got him covering. I like that.
I do got him covering, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'll just say that, but I want to just kind of reiterate it. I think that's the big thing. I think they'll have an opportunity to probably, if they are up, if they do control this game against Pitt, they'll probably have an opportunity to run up the score and get that spread and cover. I just don't think they will. I just think they're going to keep the clock running, keep everybody healthy. Both teams, in my opinion, are looking down the road. Pitt shouldn't be looking down the road anyway, but I do think Notre Dame is kind of looking down the road. I think they're just like, all right, let's just stay healthy this game. I don't think they think Pitt's trash. I just think they want to do whatever they can to stay healthy, and I think a low-scoring game, is conducive to that. So, okay, so do we all have Notre Dame money line, right? Just them getting it done?
Mm-hmm.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I know I could see fireworks happening, man. But yeah, it's a safer pick. I get it, but
Marcus Freeman is not losing this game. I don't think. It's a
Good
coaching thing.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman ain't losing this game, man. This is the playoffs on the line. He ain't losing this game.
Good point. Yeah, it all comes down to coaching, man. You got one coach who doesn't seem like he's dialed in, and you got a guy who was, a quarter or two away from national championship last year. So, okay, let's get into that game. I like that we're all on the same page there. But wouldn't be surprised if we're all surprised come Monday.
Mm-mm.
Let's get into the next game. Boomer Sooners, Oklahoma versus Bama. Like we've said it, we mentioned here earlier in the program, Alabama is a lot of people's number one team in the nation, and I think rightfully so. I do think they have a guy, Ty Simpson, at quarterback, who may be holding up the Heisman Trophy here. Wouldn't be surprised. I don't think you could really go wrong with your Heisman pick as of right now between Mendoza and Ty Simpson. But guys, want to get your thoughts on the game. Jam Miller, what's he going to do? I mean, what's going to happen in this game? We'll start off with Will. We got a 3:30 kickoff here. What are you thinking?
Yes, I mean, you get Oklahoma off a bye and Bama off that LSU game, and this is the number 1 and number 3 defense in the SEC in points per game. So you got 2 really good defenses going at it. And Alabama, I know for a fact pretty much that they're just not going to run the ball in this game because they can't do it, period. They're 14th in rushing offense. Oklahoma's second in the league in rushing defense. So that run game for Bama really has not been there all year. Can a one-dimensional Bama team still move the ball on a defense as good as Oklahoma's? Because Oklahoma's 4th in pass defense and they're 3rd in sacks in the SEC. I need to know if R. Mason Thomas is good to go because he was banged up in that Tennessee game. It was a hamstring thing. So even if he does go, if he's on 100%, that's a big-time loss for Oklahoma's front because that guy's a total game wrecker. And it is a massive step up for Oklahoma's offense from playing at Tennessee to now at Alabama. And like I said with my MVP, I think it comes down to can Xavier Robinson take over because Bama's 11th in the SEC in rushing yards allowed this season, 14th in yards per carry. So if you're going to get Bama, it has to be running the ball, I think, because that secondary is really, really good. So can Xavier Robinson, Torrey Blaylock, and John Mateer kind of be a 3-headed rushing attack and just sort of chip away and then set up Deion Burks, Isaiah Satania in one-on-ones out wide because they can still get some wins. But it won't be consistent against Bama's secondary, I don't think. There's definitely a script for Oklahoma to be pretty comfortable offensively in this game, which we haven't really been able to say a lot. I think it's a really close game. And if so, the biggest stat difference in this game, field goal wise, Oklahoma and Tate Sandell, they've made 90% of their kicks. Bama's only made 68. So if this comes down to like a one score, who can go get 3, I trust Oklahoma to get 3 way more than I do Alabama. So I think there are matchups Oklahoma can exploit. I think I'm doing it. I think Oklahoma can go get this done because this line, you have an Oklahoma team who's looked a little bit off at times versus the SEC favorite. Why is the line only 5.5? It's too low of a spread for there not to be something there. I think Oklahoma goes and gets it done.
Standing on business, he's going out, putting his neck out there on the upset. I love that pick. I think he laid it out perfectly. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Dalton, are you leaning the same way as Will is? I mean, we got Alabama 5.5-point favorite. The total is 45.5, which I'm really curious on that. I really do think that one actually could go over, but maybe not. Maybe Jam Miller just keeps that clock running. Our Mason Thomas is definitely going to be a key to the game. Dalton, what do you think?
Oklahoma's best wins all year against Michigan and Tennessee. Against Tennessee, though, 2 weeks ago, man, they won. Yeah, they won by 6, but outgained by 100 yards. Oklahoma's offense hasn't clicked all year, really, even before Mateer's injury. And then he came back, rushed back, I think, broken hand. He wasn't good last week. They won Well, passing wise, he wasn't good. He ran the ball well, 16 carries for 80 yards, but passing 159, no tutties and a pick. Oklahoma's passing game hasn't clicked all year, man. Mateers doesn't have great weapons on the outside. Deion Burks has not lived up to the hype of when he transferred 2 years ago. Then they lost a lot of transfers. Nick Anderson, a couple other guys. I think Alabama's just going to score too many points for Oklahoma. And actually, I think this is a blowout.
Really?
I think Oklahoma's offense is just exposed. I know Alabama's can't stop the run. I think they will this game, though, because they ain't worried about the pass. Mateer, they ain't worried about Mateer throwing the ball. I didn't think I'd say this at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Because, I was high on Mateer.
You love Mateer.
Yeah. Last year, I was high on him.
I love him.
But it's just the fact of the matter. I think he's still playing hurt. And this defense is going to try their best to give him a shot, but I think Alabama's going to get some turnovers, a couple interceptions, short fields, and they run away with this. Ty Simpson's just playing too good of a ball right now, I think, man.
Yeah, both y'all make such great points, and I want to go both because this is a perfect game where Bama sleeps and just, thinks they can just, they have the Heisman guy and they can just get it done off beating Bama. This is a really big game for the Boar. I mean, this is a top 3 win for the Boar in his short tenure so far, I think, of keeping them on track, keeping them a national title contender. Because, they definitely weren't one last year. They didn't have a Heisman favorite last year. The people all wrote Alabama off kind of halfway through last season. And then let's throw in week 1. Everybody and their mother wrote off Alabama. Everybody after week 1. I was the first one. I'm like, RIP, let's get the tombstone ready.
Yeah.
Let's get it. That's done. He changed Saban's office. It just doesn't look right. It wasn't Bama. But they've totally proved me wrong. They got a guy in Ty Simpson who looks like a guy who's going to be a pro starter for a handful of years, if not a long time. That's why I want to lean Bama. But NFL players in college, they lose college games too. That happens. 5.5 point spread. I'm going to stick with Bama by 3. I think they barely get it done. Just because I think just coaching. I think the Boar's better than Venables here. It's the only thing that I kind of like. I hate Venables. I don't hate him, but I just don't think he's that guy. But R. Mason Thomas pretty much won the game, by himself. Because was it last week we had the return for touchdown, right? The
Tennessee,
yeah. I think they lose that game if he didn't make that play.
Probably.
They lose that game if he didn't make that play. Does he make another play like this? Does he get a big sack? Does he cause a big fumble that leads to a big Oklahoma drive? I can see myself being wrong here. I kind of want to flip my pick, switch the hat last second, throw it away, and go with Oklahoma. Man, but I just can't. I think star power's there, and I'm going to have to just side with Bama and on this week. But we'll see what happens. I'm very excited. But this 3:30 slate is absolutely loaded, fellas. We got 3 games here. The next one, the ACC. We talk about it. The ACC's in total shambles. We don't know what's going to happen. We had Clemson, preseason favorite. SMU, who won it just last year. We have Louisville, who was looking like pretty solid and not. They struggle against James Madison. But now people got James Madison is going to the playoff. Is that even a red flag anymore? What do you guys think about the ACC and then this game, Virginia versus Duke? We'll start with Dalton.
What's crazy is Duke wins this game. They got a really good chance to win the ACC. If they end up winning the ACC, they might not make the playoffs. They might not be one of the 4 highest ranked conference champs. They might be behind James Madison in the top 25. ACC might not get a team in now. If Duke wins this game, so if you're an ACC fan, not a Duke fan, you're cheering your ass off for Virginia this week.
So ACC, I thought ACC, if you win the ACC, you have to get in.
You got to be one of the 5 highest ranked conference champs.
Mm-hmm. Really?
And they might be behind James Madison. If James Madison's already ranked, if they go 11-1, Duke lost 3 non-conference games. They lost to UConn. Can't lose to UConn and make the freaking playoff.
No, UConn's respectable.
And I love Fagnano.
You can't sit here and say I love Fagnano and say that's not a good win.
No, the team is not good. You got 2 good players and the team might be good. That's UConn.
Yeah, but
their defense is god awful.
If you go
to Delaware, anyways,
that's
Duke can't win this game for the ACC, but they're going to. They're going to. Chandler Morris injured last week. Who knows if he's going to play? If he does, he's compromised. He's not going to be able to run like he normally does. Duke's going to just shut down the run game. Jamari Taylor, Xavier Brown, Harrison Whaley. The 3-headed monster is not going to get going because Duke's going to sell out for that. Virginia can't beat him with the pass. Duke runs away with this one, maybe. I think Mensa has a great week again. and their defense finally shows up this week because Virginia's offense just doesn't have enough.
I like the points. What do you think, Will?
I totally agree with what Dalton just said. I mean, Virginia, I was never totally a believer. Then they got totally exposed by Wake last week, and Duke is going to throw it around on Virginia because Virginia does have a decent pass defense grade, but they've played the 16th, 15th, 14th, 11th passing offenses in the ACC. So that number I think is a bit inflated because of the teams that they've played. So I think Menta throws it around. I think Dalton nailed it. I think Duke kind of beats down on them. And in terms of the ACC, like if James Madison wins the Sun Belt with their current loss record, South Florida's ranked 24th. So you could have 2 ranked non-power champions and then a 4-loss Duke team who wins the ACC. I don't think it's far-fetched at all to say that ACC totally misses out if Duke does win this game.
Wow. Now, guys,
it's crazy.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing that an ACC doesn't have a representative? Is it just not their year, or do you truly think they don't have a team that deserves to be in the playoff?
I don't think they do. I don't think
they do either.
None of these teams are good, man. I mean, SMU, Pitt, Virginia, Georgia Tech, and Duke are the 5 teams with 1 loss. None of them teams have 1 loss in the Big Ten or the SEC.
I don't hate it, man. No, I really don't. It's just we've heard some rumblings. ACC might not get it in. ACC might, but to you all lay it out to like there is really a reality to where they don't have a representative there. And I was an ACC advocate last year. I'm like, man, this is a lot of good teams. They're beating up on each other. Look at SMU last year. I do think Louisville was better than last year. You add Miami with Cam Ward last year, but it's just that last year. This is this year. And right now, the ACC for the past couple weeks where we needed the kind of ACC teams to win and uphold that image. Because 2-3 weeks ago, ACC probably had 3 teams looking in. Definitely 2 a couple weeks ago.
And then Georgia Tech lost to NC State, Virginia lost to Wake, and Louisville lost to Cal. Yeah.
JKS, man. The Reaper.
I mean, those 3 teams they just lost to. That tells you all you need to know.
Yeah, I do think 2 things can be true. I am kind of not high on the ACC. I do think they get disrespected. But, man, they may not have a team that's eligible for or worthy of the playoffs. But does James Madison do anything better that any ACC team can do? Really?
James Madison played Louisville better than a lot of ACC teams did.
And people are saying Louisville's not that good.
Louisville's
so
not that
if
good,
you
but
beat
still.
a team that is not that good, does that put you in the playoff? And they didn't even beat Louisville.
They didn't.
They should have.
All right,
they should have, but they didn't.
But I think their defense at least gives them a chance, depending on the matchup, to not get blown out. Like if North Texas is in there, it's over. Mm-hmm. South Florida has a decent defense too. So South Florida or James Madison, I think, would be the 2 best choices. Memphis has beat South Florida, I know, but their quarterback injuries they lost 2 games that they would have won probably. Benner and Lewis finished the game. Committee will look at that, but I don't think they'll give Memphis the benefit of the doubt for 2 games.
Okay. Before we get picks here and just clarify on those, last question about playoff talk before we actually get into the playoffs after we finish up our top 6 picks. So are you saying here, guys, James Madison is better than how many ACC teams? That are they better than the top 4?
Better than Boston College, Syracuse, Florida State, Stanford, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Wake Forest, NC State. I think they'll beat NC State.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. CJ Bailey loses to James Madison if they towed square to square.
Did you see them play Notre Dame?
No.
Yeah, okay. It's the worst game ever. CJ Bailey
they're better than Virginia. I really don't like Virginia at all.
Dude, I think they beat Virginia too on a neutral field.
I think
Give me
Virginia
James
is
Madison.
fraudulent.
Georgia Tech.
I think Georgia Tech is a good team.
The best team in the conference. I ain't saying that much. But their defense is god-awful. Their offense is one of the best in the country. Haynes King, you can't – he's either going to run it. If you don't run it, he's going to throw it. And he's not going to throw any picks. I'll tell you that. He's going to be efficient. He's going to throw 70%. He's going to throw for – if he needs to, he'll throw for 400. If he needs to, he'll throw for 200. Haynes King's not the problem. The offense has not been the issue all year. NC State game, their defense just gave up 48 points, man. You can't do that. So Georgia Tech – there's no complete teams, man. You got a good offense. Bad defense, good defense, bad offense in the ACC. It's just not a good conference, man. It's not.
What do you think, Will? Just James Madison better than? Are they better than Duke? And you said we got Virginia, or do they deserve to be in the playoffs? Is what I'm thinking. No matter how they end their season, no matter if all these ACC teams go over the rest of the season, does James Madison a true playoff team?
They're not going to be one of the 12 best teams in the country, but politics-wise, if it is Duke. I mean, how do you justify if you're the committee putting in a 4-loss ACC team in the playoff over what would be an 11-1, 12-1 JMU? Like, I don't think that JMU would be a top 12 team. I'd much rather be a top 15 team. But you'll be comparing them against, in theory, a 4-loss ACC team in the situation where I think it has to go to JMU. And so I think
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does depend a lot on this game because I don't think Duke loses another game the rest of the year. They play North Carolina and then Wake.
Wake.
And if they get to that Wake game knowing that they're in a playoff situation, like they're not going to sleepwalk into that Wake game. So it's going to be really interesting to watch.
Duke's resume is just you're 1-3 in non-conference play, so you can't be any. I mean, that they look at that. Oh, you can't be anybody besides ACC teams. Okay, I mean,
baptized at home by Illinois. Who's
oh my God, that was 45-19. Yeah, and then Illinois turns around the next week and gets beat by 53. So that tells you that wasn't a good loss either. So I don't know. The ACC is just bad. I think this is a bold statement. Maybe if you look at the top 6 in the ACC, the top 6 in the American. There ain't much difference, man.
I like the Americans got some good quarterback play, man.
Navy, North Texas, South Florida, Tulane, East Carolina, Memphis. Those 6 can give any team in the ACC a battle. East Carolina could beat any team in the ACC on a good day.
Caton Hauser's a dog, man. I wish they would have.
So, I mean,
who'd they play? Because this week I think would be in a perfect world like the game decider for the G5. ECU's got a big game this week.
Yeah, Memphis.
People thought last week, okay, Memphis, if you survive the Tulane game, who's going to come out? And then if ECU would have just done what I thought they were going to do, I thought they was going to be a contender for the G5 spot.
They were almost were, but they have 3 losses. But that Tulane loss is what really did them in. I mean, they lost to BYU and NC State. That's fine. But the Tulane, they lost by 7. If they beat Tulane, I mean, they'd probably be in the driver's seat right now. But there's a lot of good American teams. I think the American's just as good as ACC, and that says more about the ACC than the American, though. Not
really.
ACC is a joke this year, man.
I'm the opposite. I think that just with us doing recruiting and you throw in the portal there, man, there's just too many dogs to go around in a lot of cases. In the AAC, get a lot of those dogs. A lot of guys, they were either a backup or just they want to make sure they got the job at an AAC school. I mean, we look at a Seth Hennigan. I mean, I'm a Seth Hennigan rider. That was my guy at Memphis. But I do love the quarterback play. And I think AAC, I think it's kind of a point to the AAC. I just think they should, the ACC, Clemson did this. This is Clemson's fault. If Clemson wasn't so ass,
because there's one. So one team carries the conference. That's the problem. That's the problem.
No,
too.
That's not this year. Yes, this year it was going to happen this year, but last year it didn't. SMU won the whole conference last year.
That's true. They didn't, and then they lost in the playoffs. First game, of course. That's what I'm saying.
But that's what's going to happen with
Clemson's really carrying the conference.
I don't think any. Okay, so is any ACC team you picked last year get a playoff win? I don't think any team last year the ACC gets a playoff win.
No, or this year, or probably ever. That's the problem.
Really,
ACC's a joke.
Man,
I know you like them.
I like
ACC's
the ACC.
Deep. They're deep. Okay, I'll give you that. They're deep.
Which is, I mean, it's a good. That means they're good.
They're deep with mediocre.
You just said they're good.
Deep with mediocre teams, though, doesn't make you good. No. Boston College is the only terrible team, and Stanford. There's 2 terrible teams. The rest of them can beat each other on any given week. But that says there's not a lot of high-end talent. There's a lot of mediocre talent. I even look at the draft boards. Look at the ACC. The first round, second round.
Yeah.
Not many names on there. Not many. There's just not many high-end talent. Vinny Anthony for Duke might be the best. I mean, best NFL prospect in the ACC this year, and many people don't even know who that is. So
yeah,
I think y'all quarterback play for me because like in the ACC, is there a quarterback better than Mestonemaker?
No way.
A quarterback better than a healthy.
Lewis,
Mensa,
I think.
Brown? Like,
give me Mensa
up there. But I mean, the American quarterbacks, I think, stack up really well against the ACC, which I think is where the problem starts because then you have these teams that just can't score, so no one wants to look at them. They keep dropping games because they can't put up more than 21 consistently. ACC is just in a bad spot.
There's like 5 good quarterbacks in the ACC, I think. Haynes King, Heinzel, Mensa, JKS, and CJ Bailey. But his team sucks.
2 are freshmen. So
2 of them are freshmen. Right. So, yeah.
True freshman at that. Yeah, it tells you a lot, guys. So what are we going on picks here? I'm rolling with Duke. I think Mensa has a monster game. What do you think, Will?
I think we got 3 Dukes here.
Yeah, I got Duke. Yeah.
You got Duke?
Yeah, I got Duke too, man. Virginia. If Chandler Morris was fully healthy, it'd be at least be borderline. But I'm going with Duke all day now. I've seen that backup quarterback. He wasn't it.
Yeah, let me go with Duke. I love Mensa. I think more film I watch of Mensa, the more I fall in love with him. I don't know if it's a hot take or not. I think more people are starting to think this. I think he comes out this year.
He should.
I think he's drafted this year. He's going to be in the NFL next year. We'll see how that pans out. But, I do think the Blue Devils.
He should now.
I think they get the win, man.
Everybody else coming back.
I think he makes up for 2 really big things. not great personnel, not great coaching. If you can do that and still get some wins and put some highlights together,
I think their skill position's underrated at Duke.
I don't think it is.
Cooper Barkate, really good receiver.
They
He can
have
start
one receiver.
anywhere. Samir Hagens, pretty good receiver. Aaron Anderson played Oklahoma and LSU.
So all these guys would start at other P4s.
Nate Shepard, true freshman running back, dog.
So all these guys you mentioned would start at other P4s.
Some of them for sure. Cooper Barkate could start almost anywhere. He was a transfer from Harvard though, so yeah, overlooked. But he's pretty much. If you watch Duke, he's the receiver he's unguardable. In college.
I think Mensa and JKS had the exact same problem.
I think Jacob DeJesus is really good too for Cal.
He's okay.
16 catches. That ain't all the quarterback.
I think it is.
16? Yeah, get open 16 times at least. And that route for the game winner, he routed him up.
JKS,
he routed him up.
He's a freshman and he's a lefty.
I mean, hey, I'm not saying JKS is weak. I'm just saying
he's known for throwing guys open.
I think DeJesus is good.
I've seen that guy throw a couple guys open, and
yeah, the rest of his team's not good.
I should have been at that game. I was fake.
You should have
gone to that game. I was watching the UK Florida game. I was watching that, switching between game, and I was switching between another one too. But
some reason watching.
I don't know what I was. We'll see what happens. But all right, we all got Duke here. Let's go into our. Let's start the back half of our pick six here. USC, Jaden Maeva. I'm a big Jaden Maeva guy. Makai Lemon, first round pick here. Is he still a first round pick receiver? I still think he is. But USC is trying to get a win here, a 3:30 slot against Iowa, who barely lost against Oregon. Everyone saw it. 1 point loss in the rain. It was a home game for Iowa, but they could not get it done. They are now on the road. They're going to L.A. Their bus is trying not to get their rims stolen during the game. We'll see how it goes here versus USC. I think USC is going to win this game, even though I don't expect people to pick them, because I do think people are going to have Iowa answering and having a big comeback win. Jaden Maeva, though, I do think he has got all the pro tangibles. That's one of the guys where I'm totally in the middle of, I don't know if this guy's coming back. I don't know if this guy's going to leave. I think it's kind of a win-win for him, but what do you think, Will, about this game and who's going to come away with the win?
Yeah, so I really hate this spot for Iowa because you just played your heart out against Oregon at home in a game that I think if they won that game, they're all of a sudden thrown into, even as outsiders, the Big Ten in the playoff race. But now you have to deal with that, and you have to fly out to California. I absolutely hate Big Ten teams flying 2 time zones over. And especially when you have to go to the best offense in your conference who's averaging 500 yards per game. Iowa's defense isn't great, but do they have another big-time performance in them after their effort last week? Now, if this game was at Kinnick, I have a totally different read because then you get a home bounce back. You get to, rally yourself around. You have to fly out to California and do this. I really don't like the spot for Iowa at all. So I think I like USC a lot, and as long as it lines under a touchdown, I think USC covers. I just think it's a spot play because of how hard Iowa had to play last week for it to just be pulled out from under them. I do not like the spot for them having to fly out west.
That's a good point.
Good point.
But there is one thing I got to talk about for USC's offense, and it's when they play good defenses. Michigan, Notre Dame, Nebraska. The 3 good defenses they played all year. Maeva's 4 touchdowns, 4 picks. Mm-hmm. Iowa's got a really good defense like those teams do. The past game, I think, is going to be not as explosive as we're used to with USC because, like I said, those common opponents, they've been able to shut down the past game. But, man, King Miller, the freshman running back, former walk-on, he got the starting job, over 100 yards, 3 of the last 4 games. He's the difference maker for this USC offense. Best run game they've had since Lincoln Riley's been there, by far, I think. I mean, you're always like, USC doesn't have a run game. They haven't had a back in the NFL past 5 or 6 years, right? Weird. They got one now. King Miller's a dog. I can't believe he's a walk-on. It's crazy. But I don't know how they got him. 5.5 yards per carry this year. I think he's the difference maker. Iowa just doesn't score enough points. If they did, I would take them this game because I don't like USC's passing game. I think Maeva's struggles against good defenses right now because Makai Lemon's the only guy he got. Jacoby Lane hasn't showed up like he was supposed to.
Very true.
And then Lake McCree also hasn't. The tight end hasn't been great either. So USC's going to win, but I think it's a low-scoring game. 21-17 USC.
I don't hate that at all. I do think you make a good point with Maeva, but I think he's trying to overcompensate because his defense can't stop a nosebleed. I really do love Maeva. I do think you bring a great spot, Will. They're on the road. Big Ten travel. If you really want to get down to it, this might be soft, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but just because I'm struggling with it, we got a time zone change, man. We got a time difference.
Yeah.
We had daylight savings or whatever. You're setting your clocks back. I have struggled. I know there's at least one guy that plays on the field that's struggling, and then you want to throw in a time change. You want to throw in some jet lag, possibly. Yeah, this could be the perfect storm for USC to get the dub. Even though Iowa did play in a storm last week, I like my Ava. I don't know how they're going to get it done. I really don't. They always benefit in a shootout. They have a better run game than they used to. Everyone's saying Lincoln Riley's leaving. They're saying he wants the freaking Texas job, which
Texas.
Yes, they're saying Stark's going to the league, and he is going. They're saying he might be going to Texas.
Please hire him, Texas. Please.
I
His
think
defense stinks,
well,
bro.
I agree with you, but I think his best days are ahead of him at USC. He needs to stay put for about 2 more years because they're really about to turn the corner. Like we said, they have a better running game, and they've tried to establish themselves as a true Big Ten team, along with the Iowas, along with the Ohio States, who can run the ball. They need to do that to succeed. They're almost there. They have good recruits coming in. I love the recruits they got coming in. Jonas Williams. They got Brett Colajay, our guy from IMG. But Booby Feaster coming in the year after, heck of a wide receiver. He's like a Decorian more like type of player. Give me USC. Score. I have no clue how they're going to get this done. I really don't know how they're going to get this done. I don't know if it's going to be they're going to score 38 points or if they're going to score 21 or 18. I have no clue. What do you guys think? I'm going to go ahead and start off with Will. What do you think? And what is the pick? Dalton's already got USC, but what do you think?
I'll say USC too, 28-17. I think Iowa struggles to get going really. Yeah, I'll say 28-17, 28-20 in that region.
I like it. I think that's almost spot on. I think it's what I'm going to think. Does a team get 30? I don't know in this one. I think we're going to have USC leave some points on the board. They kind of always do, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And it's always for different reasons. If it's penalties, if Maeva just misses a spot, or if they just have really shitty field position. I've seen that happen a couple times with them. But give me USC. Give me the Trojans. I really do not know how they're going to do it. I would like, if I'm going to have to go ahead and throw a score out there, I'm going to do it. I'd like them winning 28-13. 28-13 win against Iowa. Dalton, you have a score. You had a score. What was it?
21-17.
21-17.
I think I was so close to being undefeated, man.
Mm-hmm.
Every game they lost was nail biters, heartbreakers, man.
I know. And then their
offense is just a little bit better.
Go ahead.
Their offense is just a little bit better.
They need a quarterback.
It's still way better than the last 3 years, but if it was a little bit better, they'd be undefeated, man. Sucks. They just need some receivers.
I think
no receivers.
I think they possibly make a coaching change.
No,
they want to change the identity.
No, not there.
I've seen people say it, and maybe I'm just
Really?
being a mockingbird. Yes.
People said it.
Just because they're tired of the same old, kind of like the Mike Tomlin kind of thing. They're just they know what they're going to get going into the year. They want highlights, and in this day and age, just having a smash mouth and a good program and being tough is not good enough anymore. Unfortunately, I really wish it was, but just being tough isn't good enough anymore. You have to have dogs. You have to have a really good quarterback to succeed, especially in the Big Ten. So some people, I don't know if I'm wholeheartedly there, but some people are saying they might make a change just because they want to just try to change, just a literal change. They just want a different Iowa team, and they want more excitement, I think. But maybe not.
I don't know. I will say Iowa's D-line freaking great.
Trenches, man. That's a trench team. What a trench.
Maxwell and Aaron
Ever
Graves.
since we've been kids, I mean, they've always been good at the same thing.
I think maybe they'll get sacked 4 or 5 times this game.
Oh, yeah.
They still win, but
Knock the ball out. You never know.
Yeah, Llewellyn and Graves and Herkett, they each got 4 sacks already at least. Llewellyn got 6. Graves got 4. He's a D tackle, so D tackle, pass rush. It's gonna be a low scoring game. I don't think USC lights it up like they are known for, but they're gonna win.
I think people are hating on. I don't know why people are low on Dunker. Jennings Dunker. I think he's gonna be a good guard. I mean, I really do think he's gonna be a solid. Just
he fell off a little bit, yeah.
I mean, I don't. But did he? I just think. I don't know. Maybe we'll see the film there in summer scouting, but I think their offensive line's pretty touted. They're a top 10 offensive line, definitely the nation. But I do think Texas A&M holds that number 1 spot, even though everyone loves Utah's offensive line, which I think they're good. Just don't think they're number 1. Let's get into the last couple games here, fellas. We got Texas and Georgia. This is a hell of a game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is it. This is it. Sarkisian, what's he going to do? Everyone's talking about it. Is Kirby going to really flex the Kirby muscle again and just strike fear and just win? I think he just wins off fear. I really do. I think teams don't beat Kirby. Other teams beat themselves. Start off with Will here. 7:30 kickoff. Only game here at 7:30 slot. What do you think of the game?
Yeah, so I mean, Georgia, you get to come in off that big win against Mississippi State, which I actually labeled as a trap spot on my own channel. Was wrong in the first half, but Texas is coming off a bye, and this is Georgia's first home game since they played Ole Miss. So they haven't been playing in Sanford since that game, so they'll be fired to be back at home. And Texas, I think they're playing for their lives because 9-3 Texas did have an argument to get into the playoff. I would say no personally. So Texas is going to be back against the wall desperation mode, and desperation to me is the biggest thing in college football. It's the most important factor because with college kids, you never know what you're going to get. But when your back is against the wall, you know they're going to give their best effort. And Texas, they're only allowing 2.4 yards per carry and 78.7 yards per game on the ground. And Georgia wants to run the ball down your throat. They're not going to come off that ever. They're going to keep trying to pound the ball. I think that Gunnar Stockton, though, is going to be forced to do more with his arm than he did last week, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. But Georgia through the air is not going to be explosive. It's going to be a lot of Zachariah Branch at the line of scrimmage. Let him go make a play. And on the other side, is there an argument that Texas kind of found a rhythm on offense? They put up 45 and 34 in the last two games against the 14th and 10th best defenses in the SEC. And now Georgia's up at 6th, but the Dogs have holes in their secondary. And Texas, with their offense, they would love throwing the ball, don't like running it as much. So I think that there are wins to be had for Texas in the air, but on the road, they scored 7, 21, 16, and then 45 against Mississippi State. So the Longhorns on the road, they have not been near as good. I do like that Texas got 14 days for this. Georgia's coming off of one of their best all-around performances, which is on the road. I really started my notes thinking I was going to go Georgia. I'm kind of in the middle. I'm really close on this game with who I want to pick because I think that Texas, they've struggled a bit on the road. I do think that they're kind of coming into themselves now, and Georgia is gettable in the secondary, which is what Texas wants to do.
I love it. I love it. I do think I'm right in the middle as well, man. What's going to happen in this game? Dalton, what are you thinking?
Man, I'm with them. I want to take Texas so bad.
Me too.
One of the best defenses in the country, maybe the best. Especially if you just look at player by player. They get loaded at every position, man. Defensive front, secondary, doesn't matter. This is the worst Georgia team.
Yeah.
Under Kirby Smart, right?
Yeah.
And they're still 8-1. They're still 8-1. I just can't pick against Georgia here, man. Not at home. If this was at Texas, I'm going Texas all day. I just think Georgia's offense, and not even their offense, just in their close games, Georgia's clutch, man. They've won a lot of their games have been close. The Auburn game, Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee game. They had 4 really close games already. 5 of them, they lost 1 of them. 4-1 in close games. Texas not as battle tested. Lost a bad Florida team earlier in the year. Yeah, they're playing better. Arch's playing better. But even that Vandy game, they were up. What were they up, like 24?
Up by a lot. 3 scores.
Yeah, they were up 24-3, and then they almost blew it. Vandy came back, scored with 33 seconds left, cut it to 3. Way too close for comfort. Defense let off the gas. Can't do that this week. I just think Gunnar Stockton's too solid, man. He's not going to make any mistakes. And if Georgia needs to score a game-winning drive, I think he's clutch enough to do it. Georgia's run game, I think, not going to be great, but, man, they've been better every week. Nate Frazier, Chauncey Bowens. They got 2 solid backs, both really young. And I think they're the difference. They end up getting more yards than anybody would think. Enough to keep the offense on schedule, not getting 3rd and longs. Georgia pulls it out. Texas, no playoffs for Texas this year. I don't think.
I think you all laid it out almost perfectly, man. I want to take Texas so bad, even though I don't like Arch Manning. I'm not a big Arch Manning guy. If this guy was a 3-star, we'd be ranting and raving about him. 4-star, but just the hype kind of killed me with it, and unfortunately, but doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback. 2 things can be true. You aren't as good as they say they were, but you're still a pretty good quarterback, and you are, a P4 starter.
Playing a lot better.
He's playing a lot better, man, and if he wasn't the one that made the game-winning pass, he came out for the injury. His backup came in through the game winner, even though Arch got him down there. I'd probably be on the Arch train. Maybe I'm hating just off the one throw of him not making it. But I really do want to go Arch here. We're looking at a 5.5 point spread, I think. So, yeah, 5.5 point spread. Georgia's still favored at home. Texas is trying to ruin parties at this point. This is the worst Kirby team, like you said, Dalton, we've seen in some time, even though I think that's going to quickly change with Jared Curtis coming in at quarterback. And then they just got crystal balled with the IMG's quarterback, Jalen Wade. He's supposed to go there now. But we'll see. That's in the future. Today's the present. What's going to happen? I got to go with just a little craziness here, right? I just got to shake it up. Let's go with Texas. Give me Texas and Sarkisian. I don't know how they're going to get done, but Arch Manning's finally going to play like a Manning. I think he's going to put 4 quarters of complete football together. He's going to get it done, and he is going to be the catalyst and pretty much the proof in the pudding that this isn't the Georgia Bulldogs that we've seen the last, handful of years. Am I crazy to think that, fellas?
I mean, you're not. You're not. Like I said, this is the worst Georgia team he's had, but they're still 8-1. Like,
Yeah,
if that's the worst team you've had, that's saying a lot. It's just a close game thing. I think they're just more clutch than Texas. That's what it comes down to me. It's not going to be a blowout, nothing like that. Texas might even control the game, the whole game.
that's what I'm thinking.
But Georgia gets the ball last and they score.
But call me crazy, Will. I think for the first time, Texas can play 3 quarters of such good 3 quarters. They set themselves in the 4th to where they're looking down and they would have to shoot themselves in both feet to lose. Am I crazy for to think that they're going to be up going into the 4th?
Really?
No, not at all. Because Georgia's been off to all these slow starts, and if Texas is able to get up by 2 scores, maybe their defense will be good enough to really, I do think, keep Georgia down from coming back again. And we mentioned how Georgia's 8-1. I'm not playing the ref card, but if Jackson Arnold touchdown scores and Michael Jordan catches that ball, Georgia could be 6-3.
Yeah, I know.
They've been flying so close to the sun. They should have lost to Tennessee on the field goal. I mean, the Ole Miss game was 1 score. Like, Georgia is good, and they get credit for winning these games, obviously, because you have to be a good team to win all these close games. I mean, I'm just kind of saying what you guys are saying. This is not the same Georgia team. They could very easily have more losses, and I think that Texas is good enough, especially defensively, to finally give them that. So I'm going to go Texas too here, I think.
Love it. All right. We got the Longhorns having a big game here. You would think we're Steer fans as well, but
I just
think they're going to get it done.
They just scare me out of going to a big place. I mean, they lost at Ohio State, and they lost at Florida.
Yeah,
you know, the swamp.
point.
Not because we're good, but the environment.
Yeah.
At UK, they only won by 3. Should have lost, probably.
They should have lost that game.
So they played one good road game all year, and it was against not a very raucous crowd at Mississippi State. So
hey, cowbells, man.
Yeah, that probably lasted a whole quarter.
They get crazy, bro. They really do. Mississippi State, I like.
That was actually a good game, though. But I mean, they only won by 7. That's what I'm saying. They're not a great road team. It don't look like this year. So I think that's the difference. If it was on a neutral field or Texas, I would take Texas. But
okay.
Also, one thing to say about the recruits, and I don't even look at that at Georgia. They be picking the lower ranked recruit half the time at quarterback. You know them.
Well, that anymore though. That's what I'm saying. Jared Curtis, who they
like
have
Gunnar Stockton over.
Well, not anymore. Jared Curtis was number 1 in the nation, but it was political why he's not number 1. He didn't go through the Elite 11 process and all that, so they put Diabell up. I get it.
I think Puglisi's going to be starting.
But no, I think Jared Curtis is going to start possibly next year, but I'm telling you guys, I know it's down the line, but they got a quarterback who they're supposed to get. They just got crystal balled yesterday. IMG quarterback Jaden Wade. If they get him,
he'll probably end up transferring. Will, don't worry about it.
Their quarterback problems will be definitely covered if they get that guy. But I'm really curious to see what Jared Curtis, who they got coming in next year at quarterback. I mean, he's better than Gunnar Stockton, in my opinion. I think he's, in my opinion, he's going to be better than Gunnar Stockton. He's going to be better than Stetson Bennett. Is he right now as a high school senior? No. But I do think Kirby's going to have the best quarterbacks he's ever had in the next 2 if it goes according to plan. But, fellas, so you got Georgia, Dalton.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll see how it goes here. We'll see how we end up. I don't hate the pick. I mean, I think it's a smart pick. But I think big teams or better teams lose to worse teams off a couple things: penalties, field position, and chunk plays. I think chunk plays is how Texas is going to win this game. They're just going to get some big plays, some 30-yard plays, something. And, hey, Gunnar Stockton's probably going to have a handful of 30-yard plays as well.
I was going to say, that was the last time I was going to say, is Gunnar Stockton's probably the most underrated QB in the whole country.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get his flowers, bro, at all.
I think CJ Carr
He's so mobile, getting out of sacks. Good luck sacking Gunnar Stockton. You think you have him, and he's like, he gets away somehow.
That's true. But that's true. That's true. No, he is mobile within the pocket.
And, I mean,
he's mobile within the pocket.
2 picks this year.
That's good. No, trust me.
Some of the throws he makes, like he made a few at last week in the first Mississippi State. Like the windows that he's throwing to are just unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's got a crazy accurate arm. Like you said, he's impossible to sack. He doesn't get talked about a lot, but he's playing really, really good football.
I mean, if he was 2 inches taller, you'd be talking about him a lot more, I think. just because he's 6'1", and that's probably giving him an inch or two. He might be 5'11", 6 foot.
Yeah. We'll see it. We'll see how it shakes out. I mean, Gunnar Stockton could easily go down and have a 300-yard game and just shut everybody up, which I don't think too many people are saying Gunnar Stockton's weak at this point. I think everyone's kind of like, all right, this guy's legit, but I do think he can move up to that next level this week if he puts together a big game. But fellas, let's get into the last game. This was a late shakeup. Dib was thinking about Florida in there, but I'm looking. I mean, Big 12's in question still. I think TCU could have a big game here against BYU. BYU, who Kalani Sitake, who I think is still in the running for Coach of the Year. I don't know if he'll get it anymore with them still not being undefeated. I do think he's deserving, rather, but I don't know about this game. I do think he could drop this game to the Horned Frogs. I'm really curious. 10-15 kickoff. That's not foreign to BYU. They're used to this late night football. How many times out of the season we end our night with a BYU game? Happens all the time. And it's usually pretty exciting. Bear Brockmeyer, number 47, freshman quarterback, freshman sensation, who's getting a lot of love. I mean, we got a handful of freshman quarterbacks starting. He's one of them. And I think that people are easily forgetting that because we're just not used to seeing this many freshmen start who weren't, 5-star guys, parade All-Americans, all that good stuff. But, fellas, what do you all think about the game? We'll start off with Dalton. Who wins this game?
Well, I think this is actually the best matchup team-wise for BYU. This is the best kind of team that they feast on. Not physical. That's it, not physical. BYU loses. They lost last week to Texas Tech because they couldn't run the ball. Their defensive front was too good. They didn't have time to throw either. They couldn't protect.
Yeah.
TCU don't have to worry about that. They don't have dogs. They don't have NFL guys on the front four, even in the secondary, and anywhere on defense, any level. And BYU should be able to manhandle their offensive line too. So I think it's the physicality of BYU shows up big time in this game. TCU this ain't their best matchup either. They're better against teams that are fast like them, like to spread it out. Iowa State last week, the opposite of them. Another team like similar to BYU, try to win physically. TCU loses by 30, 20-17. Really explosive offense, but they only put up 17 on Iowa State. I think something similar like that this week. TCU only puts up 17, 20 maybe. BYU is able to bounce back. Bear Bachmeier has a lot more running room this week. LJ Martin has more running room.
Ooh.
They just run for 200-plus yards probably, and they own this game.
I like LJ Martin. So, okay. So what do you think? What is the score you thought?
I'm thinking 28-17. 28-17 BYU. So TCU's offense.
Hoover can't put the team on his back, and McAllister can't just have a crazy game.
I mean, I was looking at last week's game, and TCU scared me, man. Iowa State's defense isn't nearly as good as BYU's.
Yeah.
And they pretty much shut him down. I mean, Hoover threw for 319, but he threw 2 picks. So, can't do that. McAllister had 100 yards. They still lost. So, McAllister go for 100 again. That's fine.
Just can't get the dub.
Yeah. BYU already lost their game. They got exposed, and they're hungry now. They're not that team. They got manhandled last week.
Yeah.
And that's their game. I think they're going to prove that.
Okay. What do you think, Will?
Yeah, Danny, you said it. I mean, my whole cap was going to be Hoover and McAllister. They can wreck any game at all. I do think BYU's got a good, obviously good talent profile, a good team. Getting exposed last week worries me, obviously. But also, I don't like to always just do this when I'm predicting games. But BYU just got exposed. They're coming home. Now your playoff hopes are on the line. You're the more physical team. Why are you only favored by 5 at home? It's weird. The line is really weird to me. I'll still pick BYU, but I do think that Hoover and McAllister. You also have Dwyer, their receiver for TCU. They'll be able to get theirs at some points. I think the game's going to be weirdly close because I can't explain the line at all.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too, and that's where the big reason why I put it in here. I'm like, hold on, Vegas is just trying to tell us something here.
They haven't had a big line all year though. I don't think even against teams that they're supposed to be. They don't score a lot of points. That's not their game.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's what it is. And TCU, they're still good. They're 6-3. They're dangerous. Every game they lost about a field goal. I mean, TCU could easily be undefeated too right now. So they're not a bad team. They just have flaws on the defensive side. I think that BYU is going to expose, be able to have a long possessions, 8-minute, 7-minute drives.
And what positions do you all think BYU is just hands down better than TCU at?
Linebacker by far.
Okay.
One of the best linebacker corps in the country.
7, I think.
One of the best linebacker corps in the nation, not just in the Big 12. Isaiah Glasker, dog. They have another guy that's really good too, but I forgot his name. So 2 really good linebackers though. They're way better at that position. And even receiver, I think is a wash. Chase Roberts and Parker Kingston, I think if they were playing at TCU, they'd have the numbers, or at least Chase Roberts would have the numbers McAllister does. So I think he's just as talented there. And then the run game, too. I mean, LJ Martin, I think, is better than TCU's back. So a lot of positions.
So this is a close spread, and we're seeing, BYU's pretty much got the better guys almost across the board. Where's TCU better at? Does TCU have any leg up on BYU?
I think TCU's better at quarterback. I do think Hoover's better than Bear still, especially as a pure thrower. I mean, Bear can run,
right?
But that's mostly his game right now. He's a runner. His run sets up the pass instead of vice versa. Which quarterback, you want your pass to set up the run. I think he'll get there, but he's still a true freshman. So I think if you had Hoover at BYU, man, it'd be a whole different team. The offensive scheme and stuff. So I don't know if they'd be as good, but I think they would have scored more than 7 last week against Texas Tech. So sometimes this scheme does hold them back against the more physical opponents.
No, I love it. We got a Pitt fan in here saying Pitt's going to win the ACC. I don't hate it. We're making Heinzel guys.
Even after they hang 100 on him this weekend, like Narduzzi wants, that'll be interesting.
I mean, exactly. And just if my coach said that, I don't care who you are. Deep down, you're like, all right.
Pitt's got Georgia Tech, Miami after too. Pitt's got Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Miami. They're not going to win all 3.
They're not going to win.
They're not winning all 3. You're not winning all 3.
They're not going to win. This is. But hey, this is a win for them so far. I think this season. If they would have started Heinzel over Eli Holstein, I mean, they would at least have one more win.
They probably would have beat Louisville, and they'd probably be undefeated. They probably beat Louisville and West Virginia. They definitely beat West Virginia, though. Yeah.
And how would that look for ACC? Could they? So say, I know we're doing hypotheticals, but say if Pitt was undefeated right now, if they did go 1-2 of those last 3, do they think they would have still got in?
I mean, they probably win the SEC still. So
that's what I'm saying.
But 2 losses, they'd still be ranked ahead. They'd still be ranked ahead of James Madison if they had 2 losses. Yeah,
quarterback, man, it's important. It's an important position.
I mean, if Pitt wins, if they win all 3 of those, they're ranked top 10.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
Top 5, maybe.
I hope they do.
They might move up to 5 if they beat Miami, Georgia Tech, and Notre Dame 3 straight.
I hope they do. I hope they just do something crazy. Our guy Corey Daly out of Texas is going to be a quarterback at Pitt next year. We followed and covered this past offseason, so I know their future's bright at quarterback no matter what. But fellas, I am going to go ahead and get my pick in here, man. I'm going with TCU. I think Hoover somehow gets it done. This is my hottest take.
I can't believe you're picking Hoover.
This is the hottest take. This is my hottest take. And
it's like me picking against Vandy.
BYU's made me look stupid. I can't even. I don't even know if I can fit them on 2 hands. How many times BYU's made me look stupid? I need another hand.
When we pick against them, though, they lose. I mean, yeah,
I know.
When we pick them, they lose because last week we picked them. We both picked them.
I picked.
Well, you picked Tech,
but I picked them 2 weeks ago when I think you picked them to lose. So we flip flopped. I had them to pick win when you had them to loss, and you had them to win when I had them to loss because I had them losing last week. Even though I felt dumb, but I mean it paid off. I mean it happens. But Vanderbilt's one of those teams, man. Just like BYU, they've made me look stupid. BYU's made me look stupid. But this week, I don't know. Like you said, maybe Vegas is making this decision for me. I thought Vegas was wrong last night in basketball with the Louisville UK game. I mean, I could not believe people thought Louisville was going to win that game. And
I called that one. I thought Louisville was going to win. Michael Brown, dude.
Pat Kelsey wears fake glasses, so
I don't like the coach, but I
can't do it.
They're good, man. Their offense is good.
So you got BYU, and what do you got, Will?
I think I might do TCU with you, honestly, because BYU, the biggest test was last week against Texas Tech. I've got 10 fingers. I don't even need them all to count how many points they scored. And if you're looking at the betting data here, BYU is getting 81% of the bets on the spread, and the line won't move. I really think that Vegas is trapping people. And, of course, could it just be me overthinking it 100%? But I think I'm going to stick with you. I'll rock with you and go TCU.
Okay, we'll see how it shakes out, man. We'll see if the Horned Frogs can get it done. I'm very curious to see how that shakes out. That game, as well as all these games, obviously, that's why they're on our top 6 because there's a plethora of games. And I feel like every time we get these top 6, they're usually in for a pretty good show. But we are going to have some upsets, fellas. Now, let's go ahead and get to some upsets. Like we said, we are going to be on the road. Is the meaning for this early show. We only do our day shows on Monday. But got to get this in because me and Dalton will be heading on the road. Brings up to our first game, our upset possibilities here. Miami of Ohio and Toledo. Miami of Ohio is looking like they could definitely get the upset. And then we have Arkansas and LSU, Virginia Tech, and Florida State. Watch out, people, because we could have multiple upsets, and that is not in there. We got one more as well. It's kind of up in the air. Want to get our thoughts on this and see if this could be a true upset. Let's go with the first one, fellas. We're going to be at the game here. DeQuan Finn, can he get it done? Gleason, can he get it done? We're going to have a quarterback possible battle here. They succeed in different ways. I know Finn could definitely have a big game on the ground. We'll start off here, Dalton. What do you think we're going to see tonight? And what's your pick? And is this truly going to be an upset tonight?
I think this is a huge game for DeQuan Finn. He played at Toledo.
Yeah.
2 years ago. Was a starter, transferred to Baylor. Was a starter last year at Baylor, actually, before he got hurt. And then Sawyer came in, and he never got his job back. But, man, Miami of Ohio's a good MAC team, solid. They've lost a lot of close games this year. The Ohio game, the UNLV game we were at.
Yes.
Easily could have won that game. I played good against Wisconsin first week. Kenny Tracy, though, injured right now. It's a big loss for them, man. We've seen him dominate that game against UNLV.
Hell yeah, we did.
Great running back. One of the best in the MAC when healthy. I think that's a big loss for them. I hope they get it done still, of course. That's the biggest thing, though. Kenny Tracy, can they run the ball still like they did in the past weeks without him?
Yeah. No, it's a good point, man. It's hard to go up against Miami of Ohio. My uncle played left tackle there with Big Ben. They always treat us so nice up there. And shout out to the people of Miami of Ohio. I do think they get it. I do think they get it done tonight. I don't know how. They've dropped a few games they just shouldn't have. This is a lot better team than people think. I don't really doubt or blame anyone for underrating or saying, hey, I haven't watched that much Miami Ohio football this year. Well, they have some guys, and I think tonight, if you have some free time, catch them because you're going to be in for a show. Will, what's your breakdown of the game? What do you think about this game? Who's going to win?
Yeah, I mean, I love DeQuan Finn hosting his old team as a storyline. I mean, that's just fun to me. And they're tied for first in the MAC right now. Defend your home field. And like you said, guys from Miami, Ohio. I mean, Cam Perry is due for a 75-yard touchdown every damn week. But I am worried about Kenny Tracy not being in the game. I'm worried about losing a big part of that rushing attack.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to end up sticking with Toledo, even though I really don't want to. I think my pick's going to be Toledo really because I think Kenny Tracy's a big, obviously a big loss for him. I like Tucker Gleason a lot. I like training him a lot. I think I'm going to go with Toledo to just kind of outlast Miami of Ohio tonight.
I don't hate it at all, man. I think you're gonna obviously in-state game, Ohio, some classic action. Toledo fans are gonna travel. What do you think?
The only reason I'm going Miami of Ohio is Toledo is 0-4 on the road this year. 5-0 at home.
All right, yeah.
Seems like they can't travel. Only one of those is her Power 4 team. They lost to Kentucky first week, but they lost to Western Michigan on the road, Bowling Green, and Washington State. So 3 bad losses on the road as well. Doesn't seem like they travel well. So that's why I'm going Miami of Ohio here, especially with the crowd. I almost said it. Hey, that was a cop out. There's not a crowd there.
It didn't get the rowdiest, but it was their first home game. I assume
that's why I should have. I thought I would be rowdier.
Some kids were adjusting to the rigorous college schedule. They needed some extra sleep. They needed to work on their studies, Dalton, because guess what? These guys we're about to see on the field tonight are student athletes. Well, some people are just students.
True.
And they need, to just really focus on that. And maybe they just couldn't make it to the first game, even though it was a heck of a game against UNLV. Dan Mullen came to town and stole one, even though Dan Mullen's a heck of a coach. I love you, Dan, and you're the man. But, yeah, it's hard. I'm going to go with Toledo in a close one. I'm very sorry, Red Hawk Nation. We're bringing drinks for the press box, so, at least – give us some slack there. But I do think Toledo's going to get it done. Toledo, Ohio, and you could throw in Miami, Ohio. There are a few of the schools that made the Maction, and, just made what we love, some weekday football. Now we see pretty much football throughout the week after Monday on the college side, and I think Maction kind of paved the way. So let's get into the rest of the upsets. I do have Toledo, though, in this one. Unfortunately, I don't think the upset gets done. But it doesn't mean some more upsets aren't on the way. I do think they are. Let's go ahead with Arkansas LSU, fellas. Does Arkansas get this done? I think they do somehow, some way. Bobby Petrino, maybe he goes for a nice motorcycle ride to clear his head before the game, just to clear his thoughts, and maybe comes in here with a better game plan. Start off with Will. What do you think about the game, and could they pull it off?
I think they definitely do because Arkansas, this offense, man, is so good.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor Green, Mike Washington, Omega Blake. They have so many playmakers. And Bobby Petrino wants that job. He doesn't want anybody else coming in. He wants to be hired at Arkansas next year. So there's not going to be any quit in this team, I don't think, because he's going to have them fired up. He's going to have them ready to go. LSU, on the other hand, I think is done. I mean, you saw Nussmeier get benched and not look engaged at all with Frank Wilson, their interim. Their defense has been playing good, but can they really keep stacking good efforts when they know that they have to hold the other team to 7?
Yeah.
Like, I think Arkansas gets to play this game. LSU has to play this game. And when the team is obligated to play, I hate that. So I'm going to go with Arkansas. I think this is definitely a good upset pick because of how good that offense is. They'll be fired up to go. Petrino's going to really want to win this game. LSU, I just don't think really cares. So I do like Arkansas in this spot.
I love it. Great pods. Like you said, Petrino, man, we're in Louisville, obviously. We know that guy very well. Our high school quarterback and receiver played for him in college, so we know that guy. And, man, he's a good quarterback guy. He really is. His quarterback record speaks for itself. Personal off the field stuff, yeah. But he has put some guys in the league, man, and it's pretty much undeniable at that point. It's a quarterback friendly system, how he usually puts it. But at the same time, he's a hard ass. I do think he's a little bit too old school. I don't think he's adapted enough to the game. The new age game. I cannot believe he's the interim coach right now. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. They could have went and snagged Biff Poggi or something. I know he was maybe still at Michigan at the time.
Yeah, he ain't leaving.
But I think, just as a side thing, I think that job is Gus Malzahn's next year or Gruden's. Maybe not. Arkansas. Malzahn's an Arkansas guy. He's from there, coached high school there, coached Arkansas State. So I think he'd be the perfect fit there. But it doesn't mean they can't get the job done. Omega Blake, stud. Taylon Green, if he's 2 years younger, we're talking about Taylon Green in a totally different way if this guy's 2 years younger. But he's going to get some snaps in the league. He's definitely going to get a shot. He can run, he can throw, he can lace it over the middle, throw it over the linebacker, and put it in the hole. So it's but he could also make a really bad play in a pick. So, but that's quarterback, man. That's football. That's why we love it. Give me the Hogs. What do you think?
Man, this matchup is ugly. It's just an ugly game. It's a really good offense and a really just worst defense you've ever seen in the SEC, maybe, against the opposite. A great defense and the ugliest offense you've seen in the SEC. I mean, they can't run or throw at LSU this year. Arkansas, though, a lot of people are saying they're the best 2-7 team in history of football. They lost 6 games. They lost 6 one-score games. They could be one-loss team. The Notre Dame game was bad. They got dominated that game. But besides that, you lost by 6 to Ole Miss, 1 to Memphis, 3 to Tennessee, 3 to A&M, 3 to Mississippi State. A lot of 3-point losses. That's the reason I'm going for Arkansas. I think the close game luck finally turns their way. They finally win a close game. It's going to be a low-scoring game. I think LSU's defense is really good. We see what they did to Bama last week. They only put up 20 points. One of the best offenses in the country, at least passing-wise. LSU's defense is they're not going to fold. I don't think they're going to give up 45, 50 points. The offense just doesn't show up. Arkansas gets it done at the end. They finally win a close game because they've been due, man. It's just it's football luck. You're not gonna lose every close game, and they get one. They get one done. Death Valley's not gonna be the normal Death Valley. The fans aren't gonna be like they were when I went there this year, man.
No, you were there.
They were still undefeated.
Yeah, you were there for the Florida game. They still had hope. But with Nussmeier and Kelly both gone, Kelly's coming back for all the money. He wants all his buyout. He's trying to run him dry there. And it's going to get ugly there in the LSU.
We all three took Arkansas, huh?
What?
We all three taking Arkansas.
Yes. Come on, Hogs. Let's get it done, Hogs.
Don't make us look bad. Come on.
I love hearing I know Sam Pittman's not coach no more, but I love hearing him talk. He doesn't say beer. He says cold beer. I'm going to have a cold beer. I love some cold beer.
It was always a bad hire, man.
It was, but they have come out and said they didn't give that dude what he needed to succeed. They didn't.
They probably won't give the next guy that either.
They probably
in my
won't.
opinion.
They probably
they're
won't.
All the Calipari, they can't afford to.
I know. That's what I'm saying. They're a basketball school now.
I agree, but with all that money, it's like, come on, find some of it. At least get you a good quarterback. At least
the power of Walmart, get an offensive line or something. Come on,
something, man. You got to do something with all that money. I get Calipari. You're going to pay for him. I know it's less kids on a basketball team than there is a football team. It's easy math, but come on, you got to give some more resources. And I'm really eager to see who they put in at the head coaching spot next year. But let's get into the last game. Not the last game here, but second to last game on our upsets, fellas. Virginia Tech Can the Hokies get it done? I'm very skeptical on this game. I don't know. Total toss-up. That's why I want to get everyone's thoughts here. Start off with you, Dalton. What do you think on this game? I know we got two Gators fans here. It's hard to root for the Seminoles and say they're going to get a dub, but do they get a dub?
It's the weirdest spread of the week. How are they favored by 13.5? They've won one ACC game in 2 years. So I don't. That's why I had to put this on there. Even if Florida State ends up winning, the 13.5 point spread, no way, that's covered. I would be absolutely shocked if they win by 14 plus points. I mean, they haven't shown any ability to do that except against Wake Forest. And Wake Forest is just terrible offense. Some weeks our defense shows up like they did against SMU, and then other weeks they don't at all. So Wake Forest, you can't look at that. That's the only conference win in 2 years, man. Virginia Tech had the interim coach bump originally. Beat NC State, beat Cal a couple weeks ago. Didn't play terrible against Louisville. I'm gonna go Virginia Tech just because Florida State stinks. There's not much. There's not much like to dive into here. Florida State just can't play against good teams. The Alabama game was the biggest outlier of the season.
Hey, I'm kind of right there with you, but I don't know how they're. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna get it done. Virginia Tech. I just know they're gonna. Does Drones really wow me? Does he really win the game, or does he just not lose the game? I think he just doesn't lose the game. I think they barely get it done, though. What did you say the spread was?
13.5.
13.5 for the Seminoles. What do you think about that, Will? Is that crazy spread?
It's weird to look at. I mean, FSU sucks. They had the best offense in the conference. They're moving the ball almost 500 yards per game, and Virginia Tech's defense is not great, right? So I think that matchup-wise, you could see FSU move the ball around a little bit. I am surprised the number's 14 or 13.5. But in terms of do I want FSU to win? The answer is never. But if if you can get to a bowl game and extend Mike Norvell, there's a greater good there. There's a greater good to FSU winning some games and keeping old Mikey around. So I do think FSU will win this game because of their offense. I'd be surprised if they win by 2 scores because everything that Dalton said. But I'll say FSU gets it done for a big time second conference win of the season.
I love it.
Hey, they just now matched Florida, and we're in a way harder conference. And we already fired our coach.
Yeah, I know. They're in a weird spot, Florida State is, man. I mean,
tells you the difference in the program.
They just haven't been the same since Jordan Travis injury, and they got snubbed from the playoffs. It just hasn't been the same.
It tells you the difference in the programs, honestly. Expectations. Florida State acts like they're a big team. Clearly, they're not. We would have fired Norvell last year at Florida. You go 2-10, bro.
2-10.
I don't care if you went undefeated the year before.
Yeah.
We don't care. No, you would have been gone. And they're still not. He still ain't gone. So that's fine. Let him stay there as long as he wants. Let him cook.
Hey, I don't hate it, man. I do like this pick as well. I'm gonna go ahead with the Hokies. Give me the Hokies. Shout Metallica. I think they get it done, and I think that rounds up for the upsets that I think have clear answers right now, or at least answers that I can come to a conclusion to. But the last one here, I think, is totally up in the air. Michigan Northwestern, fellas. Who gets this? I mean,
really?
This is a weird one. I think Northwestern's definitely got a shot. I think they can get it done. They just need a big win. They're due for a big win. They've played a lot better than everyone's thought in the trenches. They gave Oregon a hell of a time in the trenches. Preston Stone, SMU transfer. He's trying to make his mark and get a signature win on his way out. What do you think, Will? Who wins this game?
I think it's interesting because Northwestern's coming off of 2 road losses back to back. Now you get to come back home and you're playing for bowl eligibility. And Michigan on the road, it was the loss to Oklahoma. You squeaked by Nebraska. You got popped by USC. And then you had a competitive game against a Michigan State team that I think, frankly, me and my roommates could beat in 11-11. So I'm worried about this game from Northwestern's point of view, though, that Michigan can have their way on the ground because the Wildcats are 11th in the Big Ten in rush defense. But I think the game is really worth watching because the number, I think, is too high with Bryce Underwood going on the road. Like, I just don't think that Michigan can really be that explosive in the passing game to where you can put up a high number that Northwestern can't keep up with. So I think it's a tight game. I think Northwestern's in there. I had a hard time getting to where I think I can confidently say they'll win this game, but if it's a 1-score game late and they get the ball, I wouldn't be overly shocked if they have a shot to go knock off the Wolverines.
I love it. Dalton, kind of seems surprised here. It's on the upset alert. Does Michigan get it done? Do they shut everybody up and say, no, we're still Michigan? Does Bryce Underwood pull a full quarters together, a full complete game, and gets it done not only on the ground but through the air?
I know Michigan's offense ain't good, but I think they only have to score 21 points to win this game. That's the thing. Northwestern against Oregon, 14 points. 17 against UCLA. 22 against Penn State. 19 against Purdue. 20 against Nebraska, 17 against USC. They don't score more than 21 points, bro. That's just Northwestern offense.
But
Michigan doesn't a lot.
that's
You're
what
right.
I'm saying. Michigan's
Bryce
easily,
Underwood has 7 touchdown passes all year. They only beat Purdue by 5 last week.
right.
So yeah, it could be a close game.
This could be a
It could be a
13.
close game.
This could be a 13-17 game, 13-17 win for Northwestern all day, all day.
Oh, Michigan's defense is way better than any of those teams I mentioned, though, and they only scored and they couldn't score over 21 on them.
Yeah,
I just think Northwestern's offense gets shut down. Preston Stone looks like he did week 1 against who was that? Tulane. Yeah, Preston Stone looks like week 1. Preston Stone.
Okay, all right. So you got Michigan getting it done. I got Northwestern. I do think they're going to get it done. They're just going to ground and pound all game. What do you think, Will?
I probably still lean Michigan money line, but give me like 14-10, and just give me a cover from Northwestern. I'll probably put some money on Northwestern. I like them in the spot. But yeah, I think it's a low scoring game that nobody enjoys watching, but it'll be close and competitive enough to where you can take Northwestern getting the points.
I do like Northwestern spread. Yeah. I just don't think Michigan scores enough, but I don't think Northwestern just scores enough to win. I think Michigan's ground game is still really good. I mean, Justice Haynes is one of the best backs in the nation, dude. 122 yards per game rushing. So I think he shows out this week. Him and Jordan Marshall, Bryce Underwood, 3-headed monster in the backfield running. Yeah, they can't throw still, but I don't think they'll have to just because Northwestern don't have explosive enough offense. This is a good matchup for Michigan. This is Michigan's matchup. This is the kind of team they love to play.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think the same reason that both these teams can win would be the same reason that both these teams could lose. There's going to be some old guy out there that's going to love a nice 14-10 game. But yeah, I know we'd like to see some points, but it does have some beauty. Do we want a 14-10 game every week from teams? No, but for this particular teams, for these two teams, and for this week, I think it's fitting. And I think
playoffs on the line for Michigan too, though.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Well, they're not going to.
They're going to. They might beat Ohio State. They might beat Ohio State again.
Yeah.
They were better. This is a better Michigan team than last year. That's all I'm saying.
Ohio State's going to be.
And Ohio State's worse. Ohio State's worse than last year. Michigan's better. Ohio State's slightly worse than last year.
I don't think they are.
Their run game's way worse
They're
than
not.
last year.
That doesn't matter.
It matters.
They're a little worse. They're still great, but
no, they're still great. They don't have 2 second-round running backs this year.
But would you make up with it for 2 first-round receivers?
They had that last year too.
I know, but they're better.
Jeremiah Smith's probably just
so
as
Ohio
good.
State's
okay. I think he's already had his ceiling.
Ohio State's worse at a team, but I think Jeremiah Smith and Cardinal Tate are better than they were last year.
Okay, I think Jeremiah Tate's just as good. I mean, Smith's. I don't think he got better. I think he's already had his ceiling, which is the best receiver in the country. No, but still, I don't think he got better. I don't think he can really. He's already the best receiver you can be.
I think he's just Jeremiah Smith.
Yeah, he's got everything already. Like it's not meant like he's at his ceiling, but that's not a bad thing.
I think the game is slow. I would agree, but the game is slower than it was last year than Jeremiah Smith. So it is better. Maybe we just don't see it, but maybe on the board he's better. And I think maybe we're nitpicking there, but I do think they are better because I think at quarterback they're better. Julian Saban's so much better.
Saban's unbelievable.
Oh my God,
Saban's better than Will Howard. Yeah,
Will Howard's trash. Will Howard's not. He shouldn't be in the NFL. He should not. The reason he's in the NFL for 2 things: he went to Ohio State, 1, 2. He won the ship. That's why he's in the league. Julian Saban was a better quarterback than him last year.
True.
When you have the wide receivers are more seasoned, maybe they're not better. They're more seasoned, more comfortable, and you're better at quarterback. And I think they have the best defensive line in the nation.
They lost Buka too, though.
They did, and they are struggling at slot. Brandon Ennis is not the guy who they thought was going to be at slot. But when we named their defensive guys, I mean, it would take us 3 minutes to really name all their defensive guys and what they do to impact the game. I mean, they have the best defensive line. You throw Arvell Reese. You throw in this guy named Caleb Downs.
Sonny Styles.
Caleb Downs, he's pretty good. Sonny Styles, pretty good.
Igbinosun.
Kenyatta, good.
Jordan Matthews.
Caden Curry, pretty good.
Caden McDonald.
Yeah,
Caden Curry.
Shout out to Jordan Matthews, Winton Woods alum there in Cincinnati. So, yeah, I do think they are better than last year because of the strong points, the quarterback. Maybe just because the quarterback. Maybe I think that just because the quarterback. Because
I think so because I think against Michigan, you're going to see they can't run the ball. They're not going to be able to run the ball against Michigan. Bro.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll see how it folds out, and we'll see if Michigan can shut us all up or shut me up, I guess.
Ohio State's still going to beat Michigan this year. I'm not going to say they were going to win, but it's going to be a lot closer than people think because Ohio State's not going to be able to run the ball.
Okay. No, I don't hate it, but we'll see if the aerial attack will be enough for them to not really have to worry about some ground delivery there. Will, you sent in some news mid-show. I think this is worth noting here, especially with us being in Louisville. And I got some history with Jeff Brom there, but from back in high school. it's in talks here that Jeff Brom is in talks with Louisville for an extension, and that he's not going nowhere. I know he's been in talks for possibly LSU job, possibly Penn State job. What do you think? Has this been finalized, and do you think this is the right move for Brom? What do you think, Will?
I think it's definitely the right move. I mean, he's just a Louisville guy. Like the fit there is so good. I think he belongs in that community. And like, he's a great coach, so obviously he was going to be tied to some of these bigger jobs. But I do think him being at Louisville is very good long term for both him and obviously the program. So I'm glad to see this in theory being finalized and happening.
Yeah, I'm been totally in the middle because, like you said, you just nailed it perfect. Louisville guy. He went to Trinity High School here in Louisville. Quarterback, led them to the state championship. Went to Louisville, obviously played quarterback. His little brother, a Louisville legend at quarterback, played for the Green Bay Packers, who's his offensive coordinator. He's just a Louisville guy. Dalton's family's in the construction business here locally in Louisville, and they made it aware to us that he's adding a gymnasium to his house, an extension, some big gymnasium to bring his recruits in, I guess, for some meetings, private workouts and stuff. Dalton, do you think this is the right move for Louisville and for Brom?
I think it's 100% the right move for both sides. You know how I feel about Brom getting a bigger job. I think he'd be fired in 5 years. He can't win the games he's supposed to.
I don't.
He wins a lot of upsets.
I don't think he's ever had the personnel ever to win big games.
The personnel is not better than Cal.
Not a quarterback.
Okay, one spot, bro. Yeah,
but Cal can't win a big game.
They did.
Is that a big game?
Hell yeah. Louisville was ranked top 25. That's a huge win for Cal.
Not when you have a shitty quarterback at Miller Moss. Sorry, Miller Moss. But I just don't think he's that good. He's a second-string quarterback. He didn't start last year. He got benched.
That's my point about Brom. If he goes LSU, if he goes to Penn State, he's not going to get a Jaden Daniels. He's not going to get a Joe Burrow.
He could.
He's going to get a Jack Plummer, bro. He's going to get a Garrett Nussmeier.
I think he could. Right now. I think he could. He's not going to get a mobile guy. He doesn't. It's not a mobile.
Well, he don't have to be mobile.
I do think he could be better. I do think he would benefit with having an athletic quarterback.
The way he runs his scheme, he runs options and stuff.
He runs slow quarterback. I agree. Trick plays with statues. I don't get it. I understand. But I think the reason a big quarterback hasn't come to Louisville, Kentucky, we love Louisville, and he's a Louisville guy, but just because you're a Louisville guy doesn't mean you're going to have 5 stars just coming into Louisville. I think that's the reason I thought he was maybe going to take the big job is like, man, like I'm a good guy at quarterback. I get these guys, Plummer to the league, Shuck to the league. I still can't get a highly touted household name at quarterback. Do I need to go to a bigger program to do that? I think that's where his mind was at, but obviously maybe not if he's staying.
I don't think that should be a good argument. Not for Louisville. They're like one of the best quarterback schools in history. If you look all time, Johnny U, Teddy, Lamar, they even had some other guys that started in the NFL.
In my opinion,
can't name.
Charlie Strong bought this program 20 years of relevance. He single-handedly established the Florida to Kentucky Louisville pipeline. He got Teddy Bridgewater, and there's no Lamar Jackson at Louisville if Teddy Bridgewater didn't go.
Well, there's no Lamar at Louisville if it wasn't for every team trying to move him for a receiver too. I mean, he didn't want to go to Louisville. Let's be real.
But he went to Louisville without even taking a visit.
Yeah,
because Teddy Bridgewater said, "Hey, bro, this is maybe a good spot." I mean, when Charlie Strong was at Louisville, that's when me and Dalton was playing high school. I was getting recruited by Brom when he was at WKU. I was getting recruited. I never, ever thought once I was going to go play for Louisville because they were so damn good and because they had 20 dudes from Florida. I mean, they literally had 20. They did. Yeah. It's a fact. They had 22 guys from Florida, one team. And you can hate on that if you lose. Like, you need to recruit local. But if you're going to the Sugar Bowl and beating your Florida Gators in the Sugar Bowl, Charlie Strong, that proves that Jimmy's and Joe's matter. And just because Charlie Strong got him from relationships building. He was a DC at Florida. Yep. But with Brom, I don't think it's a new day and age NIL. We're paying guys now. I don't think Brom could get a Lamar Jackson and Teddy Bridgewater to Louisville at this day and age.
I think Petrino put him on the map though, not Charlie, bro. Petrino, he got him to the big conferences. Petrino's the one that did it. He got him the first Orange Bowl win. He got him to the Big East. I think Charlie picked up where he left off. It was really Petrino built Louisville.
But we forget this. We forget one guy in between. It was Steve Craigthorpe who ruined it, burned it down to the ground.
True.
Steve Craigthorpe burned Louisville down to the ground, and Louisville was not a highly sought after job when Charlie Strong got there. I truly do believe they're still benefiting this day from Charlie Strong era. I just thought I love Braum. I love him. Still got his number to this day. But I still would think, and he's a Louisville guy. He can go 0 for 12 the next 2 years at Louisville. We're not going to fire him. And we look at Petrino. I'm glad you brought him up. I thought that's another reason why he would take the big job. He could go to Penn State. He could go to LSU and fail. And guess what?
Come back.
Louisville probably take him on back because they
Yeah.
did it with Petrino.
True.
What do you think, Will? Is this am I crazy to think that he maybe should have took a better job this year, or maybe in the second part of that question, can we see now, since he's looks like he's going to be there, can we see Louisville bring in an actual good premier quarterback?
I mean, you have to prove that you can be a championship program really before those guys start to come in, or at least consistently.
Yeah.
The game
Right.
against Cal was the game to do that. You had the pathway to the ACC championship. You get to host Clemson. You get to beat Kentucky again, but then you just drop this game to Cal. And maybe that was because Braum was fielding phone calls all week. Maybe he wasn't
Yeah.
totally focused. But
Yeah.
I do think he's the guy to get Louisville over that hump to where they don't lose a home game to Virginia and Cal. And then all of a sudden we have them in these playoff conversations because the talent is not bad at all. Right, it's really just quarterback. You have the guys at the skill positions. You got Isaac Brown, Chris Bell. You have all these guys who are great players, but you don't have a Lamar Jackson. Granted, nobody else does. But I do think as he continues to just keep establishing his culture, keep proving it to all these recruits, like this is what we're building here. We can do it. He's got to stop losing those bad games. And I do think that this could have been a one-off because of all the coaching carousel talk. But I do think that Braum is just a few years away from having Louisville consistently in a playoff discussion, especially with the expanded field.
This is Braum's history, though. It ain't a one-year thing where he loses to a bad team. He does it every single year. I remember when he's at Purdue. He beat Ohio State, right? Next week, he lost to somebody he was favored by 20 against, man. That's what he does.
But I think that's proof that he's a good coach. Yes, I could pull some shit off one time, but guys, I need y'all to be a little bit better at football to consistently, like, I can't always carry you over the finish line. I do think Braum, he's not perfect. I'm a little biased. I like him. But we have seen him lose some games for some calls, some real head-scratching calls this year. I'm going to talk about this year. But I think those head-scratching calls, because he knows in the back of his mind, he missed with Miller Moss. He missed. And I think that's where some of the mishaps have come this year. But before we move on and before we end out the show, I think a big thing he stayed. Obviously, Louisville, homegrown. Everyone loves him in Louisville. He's a legend, right? We've seen Penn State get rid of James Franklin. What was a big factor in James Franklin leaving that came in is Adidas. They're getting the new Adidas deal. Adidas fronted some money up, said, hey, we're coming into this new era. We're the official outfitter of you guys. We're funneling all this money. We don't really like this, what's going on right now. We just started, okay? So Adidas. What's two schools we mentioned I think that could be good, fits? Arkansas, LSU. Maybe give me a third school that he could possibly have went at that you wouldn't be surprised if they hired. Maybe Arkansas, maybe if they hired Braum. Auburn. Okay.
He was kind of tied to Florida too, Braum was.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have been pissed.
All of those.
I like him, though.
All of those schools.
I like the guy, but.
All of those schools that we just mentioned but one, which is Auburn, and I think they just switched, are all Nike schools.
Yeah.
I think Adidas is a big reason he's staying. I think Adidas is going to up that. I think Adidas is going to be like, Adidas is going to make sure, because I know about 10 years ago around there, Louisville had the biggest Adidas deal at that time. I don't know if they still do, but probably Penn State does, and maybe Miami since they've switched over, but maybe Adidas was a big factor. Maybe that's what I'm thinking, because I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but Braum looks like he's going to stay in Louisville. Shout out to Will for putting that in. We get some little breaking news here during the show. So, fellas, it's going to be a crazy week 12. We had some upsets, and we have some guys who's chalks. It's going to really play out into the playoffs. What's the biggest, before we end the show, biggest switch up you all see? Going to bring up the playoff odds as of right now. What are you guys thinking as we go into this week of the playoffs? I got that pulled up now. We got South Florida's there at 24 college football playoff rankings. They're a team I think are going to be some sleepers possibly getting in. Are some teams going to move up higher and lower? And what are your predictions for this week? Who's going to rise? Who's going to fall in these playoff rankings? What do you think, Will?
Well, I mean, I've got Bama and Georgia both losing. So I think, yeah, I mean, I'd imagine I'm not right about both of those. But if I am, I'm not sure either of them drops below 8, right? And I think the biggest thing for the playoff rankings for me, I don't care if it's right. I don't care if people get upset. They need to organize the seating where you get Texas Tech versus Texas for the right to go play A&M. Just give it to us.
Yeah.
Just,
Yes.
just
Got
please
to.
give it to us. I mean, that would be unbelievable content for all that whole time. But I do think you'll see either Bama or Georgia lose. So I think one of them drops. I think you'll see Ole Miss slowly creep up. I'm praying that they don't get that 5 seed, so they lose in the first round, and we can just get Kiffin and Gainesville faster.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, I think there'll be a lot of movement this week because I mean, 11, 10, 4, and 5, 2 of those teams are losing this week, so you'll see a lot of movement. I'm excited for it.
Okay, and let's go ahead and predict if it ended today. If we had to do a choosing today, who gets the buys? Who's going to get the buys for the college football? Is it going to be? I think we're going to see this. That question: does A&M finish the season at 2? There's no way, right?
I think A&M loses last week of the year.
Wow.
I think Texas
Texas.
beats them. Even if
Okay.
Texas loses this week, I think they ruin their season. Well, don't ruin their season, but
ruin their hopes to play
give them
off.
a bad taste. A bad taste in their mouths going into the playoffs.
Okay.
I think the top 4 might just end up being the SEC and Big Ten championship games.
Yeah,
I
could
mean,
be.
you can't really be punishing those losers of those games for playing in them because then you're de-incentivizing getting there. And I think the gap between the SEC and Big Ten and the other 2 conferences is just massive this year. So I think you'll just see those conference champs end up being the top 4 teams.
But Georgia could lose to Georgia Tech.
Mm.
And if that could change everything because, I mean, Georgia Tech's way better this year than last year, and Georgia's worse. And Georgia Tech took them to 7 OTs last year. So, that's definitely a game. I think Georgia Tech could win this year, even though they're not as good as Georgia, but they're playing like it. And Georgia's not playing great. So I'm worried about that. And I'm more looking at these two, the Big Ten teams, the sleepers, USC and Michigan, man. If they keep winning, other teams keep dropping, they're going to find themselves right there 10, 11, maybe get their way into the playoffs. So if Michigan, USC keep winning, that's a huge teams to look out for rising, man. I mean, they both got really hard games left. USC has Oregon, Michigan has Ohio State. It's probably not going to win, but you never know. Crazier things have happened, especially Michigan beating Ohio State. I mean, nobody gave them a shot in hell last year.
Yeah.
And they did it. And
Yeah.
that's going to be the same thing this year. Nobody's going to give them a chance.
That's a good point. I'm really seeing who's going to have these top teams battered and bruised as they go into the second round or the quarterfinal, however it plays out. I'm really curious about 6, 7, and 8 right here. Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and Oregon. And you might want to throw in Notre Dame there. Those guys could ruin some parties. Those guys could end the season as, hey, these teams might get a playoff win, one of these 4 or 2 of these 4. I think those 4 teams are to keep an eye on as either ruining a team's chances as a national title or possibly getting upset and putting themselves in a position to make a run, depending on who they play.
I think 6 through 8 is kind of like the fraud group.
Really?
This year. I think Notre Dame's better than all 3 of them teams, and I think Texas is too.
I agree with you, but not on Texas Tech. I think I buy Texas Tech.
I do, but
I'm with you on.
Texas Tech is the Big 12. I can't get.
I think Notre Dame.
It's tough for me to get behind them.
I think
I know their defense looks great in the Big 12, but would they do that against Bama's O-line, Georgia's O-line, A&M's O-line instead of Kansas O-line? That's a huge difference. Not skill position. Skill position, Big 12's got good skill guys. Just on par with ACC, maybe just a little bit below. But it's the trenches. It's the biggest difference. And that's what I think. That's the only thing about Tech. I don't think David Bailey. I mean, he was at Stanford last year. He's at Tech this year. He hasn't played a lot of NFL caliber linemen. I mean, he's looked impressive, 11.5 sacks. Same with Lee Hunter, Romello Height. I mean, they just haven't played a lot of NFL linemen. That's one thing that sticks out about Tech. I mean, they're really good defense, but it's just, is that why?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I think my hot take is Notre Dame and Texas Tech finishing 5 and 6. I think I like that a lot. I think Notre Dame could beat Oregon in a neutral site. I think they could beat Ole Miss in a neutral site, and then them versus Texas Tech will be a hell of a game.
My hot take: Notre Dame's the third best team in the country, maybe second.
Wow!
Both the games they lost were the first 2 games of the year, and
you said who's number 2 to you?
Notre Dame might be number 2. I think Notre Dame's better than A&M. I mean, I know
Indiana?
they beat. Now that after last week, Notre Dame's beating Indiana.
Really?
Neutral field, yeah.
Oh, I don't think. Oh man, I don't think so.
I don't want to hold that game against Indiana too much because that Penn State roster is still as good as it was.
No, it's a good roster. It's a good roster.
I mean, and that was their Super Bowl. And I know that gets thrown around a good bit, but I mean that was everything Penn State had left.
They did make Grunkmeyer look really good, though. That's the only thing I'm concerned about.
Right.
Indiana, Grunkmeyer looked like he played it was his 10th start instead of his, third start.
Third, yeah.
He faced the 3 toughest defenses ever in his first 3 starts.
He did. I think we're
Ohio
gonna
State, Indiana, and Iowa, as he had to face first 3 games. I mean, no, I don't think anybody's jealous of him right now.
No, I think we're going to see a lot of things shake out. And like we said, we're going to see who's fraud here as it comes down. I mean, week 13 will be just around the corner here, which is insane. And we'll see who the risers and fallers are. I think we've had a hell of a show, fellas. A little bit longer of normal, but hey, that's what happens. We got more and merrier and more to talk about. And I can't wait for Monday's show to see how this all shakes out. Will, sure, first time here being on with us this season. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Awesome, man. I know we've been on a few podcasts, so it's not our first time working together, but our first time having you on Home Squad, which couldn't be more than happy to have you on, man. You've been a great addition, and we love your content. And let everyone know where they can find you on socials.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at W Thomas Sports, and then Tailgate Talk SEC, YouTube, podcast, everywhere else.
Yep, Tailgate Talk, SEC. That's the stuff. I always watch your Tailgate Talks. I love just the production stuff you put in there. Just you don't just turn on your camera and press record. You put the visuals in there too, just like we like to do. And I think it's a perfect match. And everyone go check out Will, and you'll be seeing him more and more throughout the final stretch of the season. But before we leave, got to shout out our sponsor here, Knotty Pretzels. Everyone, shout out Knotty Pretzels. They've been a heck of an addition to the program as well as Will. I mean, have a lot of flavors here. We got buffalo wing, smoky cheddar bacon, and me and Dalton ripped open a bag of the smoky cheddar bacons and harmed them in record time.
Yeah.
I mean, we did damage to
Ate
these.
the whole bag.
I swear, smoky cheddar bacon, it lives up to its name. It's smoky, it's cheddary, it's bacony. First time I've ever had a pretzel like that of cheddar bacon.
Yeah.
It
Good
lived
flavor,
up
man.
it lived up to the hype. So they got ranch as well, Mom's original garlic and herb, honey mustard, sea salt, and then for the holidays, limited to time, we have cinnamon sugar as well. So shout out to Knotty Pretzels. You can find them at knottypretzels.com as well as Amazon and get them to your door ASAP for all my Prime members. So shout out to them. And I hope everyone had a good Veterans Day too. I know we didn't get to everyone's get to come back here, but seen our post on Instagram shouting out all the vets as well as Knotty Pretzels. And we really appreciate all our veterans. Wouldn't be here without you. Wouldn't be able to just talk football, get on talk about the internet.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for them. So sometimes you have to address the obvious, and sometimes we forget the obvious and take it for granted. So,
Yeah, I'll give a special shout out to my brother-in-law. Purple Heart guy.
yeah.
Got blown up overseas. Actually, I mean, so it's crazy what they do for us. Actually, I mean, you don't think about it every day. It is crazy.
You don't. You really don't. And that's why it makes it so great, is because it's second nature to us. Freedom is second nature to us, and that's literally not the case almost anywhere else. So, shout out to all of our vets. Pretty much everyone knows a vet, and your family, friends. So thank a vet, and it's never a wrong time to thank a vet. It doesn't have to be on Veterans Day. So shout out to him. Shout out to my brother, Corey, who's in the Guard as well. All of our service members. Will, before we head out of here, before we hit the road to Ohio to watch Toledo take on Miami of Ohio, you got any final thoughts, my friend?
I mean, no, this is a fun show. I just got me more and more fired up for this week because there's a lot of games. It's not always just the high-profile games. A lot of the games that look ugly, they're going to be a lot of fun to watch. So I'm fired up for it.
Yep, and we'll see. We'll always have some surprises there that are outside of our top 6, which we'll be sure to highlight on Monday. But we're going to go ahead and leave everyone there. Hope everyone has a great rest of their Wednesday. We're going to hit the road. I don't know who's got the rights for the Miami of Ohio, probably ESPNU or ESPN there tonight for Toledo versus Miami of Ohio, but we will be in the press box.
ESPN2. Even better.
Yep, if they do a wide panel view, might see our ugly faces there in the window in the press box, chopping down on some Knotty Pretzels. We're going to bring some. But everyone, I really appreciate it. We got 100 people in here right now. Hope everyone has the rest of their week. Goes splendid, goes well. And we will catch you back here Monday at noon Eastern. You all have a great one.
Yep, we'll see y'all later.
See you.